This is with the welcome the managing director of 2017, Cherry Alexander, and for the Guinness World Record, Adam Brown. Give him a round of applause, guys. Oh, and just four quite quick guys who might have witnessed the noise inside here. Our 4x1 champions. Cherry, you're the boss lady. You must be so proud of the event you've put on. You and your team, it's been very special.
I absolutely have a brilliant team who pulled this all together with last year. But I tell you what, I can't thank the spectators enough for the support that they've shown and just made it what it is. Fantastic.
And Adam, I know you've given lots of these certificates out for some crazy world records, but this is a good one, isn't it? The amount of people to attend the World Championships, over 700,000.
It's a fantastic world record. It's one that personifies passion in sport and gives something back to the spectators. It truly is an inspirational record, and it's a fantastic achievement by the London Committee and everyone that's come over the last 14 sessions.
I've worked with these quite quick boys behind. Hopefully no headaches this morning. Adam, has it sunk in yet? World champion.
It hasn't quite sunk in yet.
It wasn't a dream, so it's present. And the noise, we see that you've got such a blistering start, your first 50. Are you aware of the noise, or just tunnel vision?
Well, it was quiet at the start, and then all of a sudden I heard an eruption, and it just gave me extra energy. The crowd was electric yesterday. Thank you, guys.
And Danny, for yourself, quick word, the crowd.
Yeah, you guys have been amazing all week, and we're so grateful to have this opportunity in front of you guys, and to get our medals later on this evening is great, and we're so happy you can share it with us.
And Nathaniel, you've wiped your tears away. You're a big man. I'm not necessarily a big fan of you, but you were in bits last night. It meant so much.
It was an amazing experience, and definitely overwhelming. The crowd really spurred me on. It was the last 20 meters, I had some extra gas in the tank, and that's due to you guys, man. You guys were amazing. Thank you.
And obviously, it's true, they've been brilliant. As an athlete, you sacrifice so much, you work so hard, and it's fractions. If anything goes wrong on the night, it's game over. But last night, everything you all gelled so well.
That's down to practice and execution. We all trust in each other. It's more than just us four here, the brand new staff. We've all been amazing.
Well, and your coaches, I've got to mention your coaches, Christian Malcolm, an expert himself. He's probably here, so he'd like a bit of credit. Great guy.
Shout out to Flash, man. He's a great guy. Great guy.
Flash is his name. Ladies and gents, there's a round of applause for the gold medal winners, and also Cherry and the team for that world record. Well, ladies and gents, someone else part of this team. She's quite quick, she was very fast in her days. She's looking after proceedings in the warm-up track, so we'll go over to Jeanette. Jeanette, what's happening over there?
Hello, Ewan. Yes, down here on the warm-up track. It's the last day, so it's not as busy as it has been, but there are people here. There are 3 minutes to go, so there are
Well, good evening, everybody. Hard to believe, but this is it. Our very last session of the 2017 IAAF World Athletics Championships. It has been absolutely enthralling from start to finish. If you missed our festival of race walking this morning, where have you been? What have you been doing on this fine Sunday? 4 great races in the Mall, and now the attention turns to the track once more for one last night of drama. My goodness me, we had drama and then some last night. Huge climax to the evening with the 2 4x1s. And Great Britain denying the Americans, with Usain Bolt sadly limping off the track. Big night tonight. We have 7 finals for you. That's the view outside as people make their way in. It's around about 6:30 local time here in Great Britain. And here is what we've got to look forward to over the next 2 and a bit hours. It'll be a quick old night, this one. Men's high jump final starting in just over half an hour's time. Barshim aiming to finally become a senior world outdoor champion. Women's discus final should be a good one. The women's 5,000 metre final. Ayana hoping to secure the double, but remember she was brilliant in the 10 last year in Rio and ran out of steam in the 5. The women's 800 metres, Casta Semenya hoping to join Maria Mutola as a 3-time world champion over the 2-lap race. Asbel Kiprop, can he make it 4 in a row over the 1,500 metres? 3-time champion. And we finish with the 2 relays, the women's 4x4 and the men's 4x4. And at some stage, I am reliably informed, we have an opportunity to say goodbye to Usain Bolt, who is doing some kind of lap of honour. A little bit cloudy this evening. Beautiful weather this morning on the Mall for the men's and women's 50k walk. First time in history we've had a women's 50k. Canary Wharf. We've got used to this view over the last 10 days. We'll miss this when we wake up tomorrow morning. That's the warm-up track. You're listening to myself, Rob Walker, and alongside me, to my left, Steve Ovett, to my right, Catherine Merry, and they are both also very much looking forward to this last night of action. Tinge of disappointment, guys, that it's got to finish, but all good things come to an end.
They do indeed, but one last night, and there is Mutaz Essa Barshim. Now, one of the best high jumpers of all time. He looked wonderful in qualifying. Got a feeling he might jump high here tonight. It'll be the first event to get underway tonight. 7 o'clock UK time.
Shabilko, second best jumper in the world this year. National champion, 7th in the European indoors, but he's gone over 2:35. Didn't qualify for Beijing or Rio, but he seems to have made a step up in class this year, the 25-year-old. Getting himself poised and ready for the men's high jump, one of 2 field events tonight. Lysenko, the Russian national champion. He's an authorised neutral athlete, hence the ANA. Winner of the Youth Olympics, only 20 years of age. 3rd best jumper in the world this year with 2:34. Barshim the favourite, but strangely he's never won a global senior outdoor title. Is this the night he delivers, or will Lysenko, or maybe even Bondarenko, deny the man from Qatar the gold? Robbie Grabars equalled his season's best with a 2:31 in qualifying. Got a bronze here back in 2012. He's not necessarily jumping at his absolute best. His PB's 2:36. But he has a habit of producing his best when he needs it. So there is the view of the warm-up track. A couple of the 5,000 metre women jogging along.
Ayana, well, what will she do in that women's 5,000 metres against the likes of Aburi? Ayana, one of probably the greatest front runners of all time. Is she going to do exactly that in the 5,000 to take the sting out of the rest of the field?
Ayana has won the 10,000. Or will Helena Beery deny her the double?
Well, there she is, taking it easy, relaxing, just over at the warm-up track. There's the Kenyan team, just taking it very, very casually. And Aburi, as we know, got that wonderful last lap speed. And let's hope that she's up there and she's in contention when it comes to the crunch.
Sifan Hassan, Steve, 5th in the 1,500 metres. She's the world indoor champion over the 15. How do you rate her chances over the 5?
Well, that all depends on those two women that we just seen previously. If Ayana takes it out, then it's going to be really a matter of strength. Laura Muir, well, we saw her in the 1500 metres. Well, that was unfortunate there, I think, for her, because tactically maybe she just didn't get it right. But in the 5000 metres, she's fast. She's one of the fastest in that race. And if it's a slow race, which I don't know, I can't see it actually happening, but if it is, then it will play into the hands of women like Laura.
Catherine, huge star for South Africa going in the women's 8, hoping to make it a hat-trick of world titles. Can anyone stop her?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Caster Semenya will start that women's 800-metre final, 8:10 local time, as the big favourite. But she'll be put under pressure. There was good qualifying from Melissa Bishop, RJ Wilson from the USA. She likes to take the race out, the American. But as you mentioned, Rob, global titles at her best this season, 155.27. So the big pre-event favourite in the women's 800 metres.
Good atmosphere here in the stadium. You might be hearing the dulcet tones of Usain Thomas firing up the crowd in the background. Former European 400-metre champion. He and the mascot hero are getting everybody in the mood for the drama to unfold. And we start, as we have done for the last few evenings actually, with a few medal presentations. The big men coming out for the Javelin presentation. No place on the podium this time for the Olympic champion Thomas Röller, but his compatriot for Germany, Johannes Vetter, the second best thrower in history, securing his first global title, sandwiched between two men from the Czech Republic, both of whom earned their place on this podium with lifetime bests in the final. He can't get enough of this, can he, Hero?
No, he's hogging it.
Hedge hogging it.
He just came in on a zip wire, Rob. You were busy concentrating, commentating, and you missed the fact he's coming from the top of the stadium on a zip wire. It was actually really quite impressive. You're looking at me like I was lying. He did, didn't he, Steve, right?
Certainly did. He came from, I don't know, way up there and then disappeared somewhere down there.
Wow. Well, I must have been concentrating. So there we go. Whoever it is hiding inside the costume, he has entertained everybody in fine style. And I think we showed this. If you missed it, allow me to just remind you, there was a little 2 or 3 year old girl over in one of the jumping pits on the far side of the stadium doing some sandcastles with him. It was a really, really nice moment, actually. So whoever the guy or girl is within the costume, yep, take a bow. Thanks for your contribution to the drama and helping to get the crowd poised and ready for the action each evening.
He's got the moves, Rob.
I might have a crack at that at the after party tonight, though, Bet.
There goes those snake hips again, Rob, that you love.
I can't do that with my bum.
Thank God.
Oh, ridiculous, but a lot of fun. Anyway.
Ladies and gents, Hero.
Right, Mr. Hedgehog, you've had your moment. Let's get on with the climax of the championship, day 10. Be interesting to see what Vetter makes of that, if he's still up there when Johannes Vetter comes out for his first global title.
Well, he might throw him about 90 metres if he is, but we'll have to wait and see.
So, yeah. Everything has helped create the backdrop for the drama. And we just heard, by the way, as we came on air this evening, as Usain Thomas was talking to the crowd, a world record of World Championship ticket sales. We knew it was around about 700, but we have heard this evening that the official tally, they're running some of the Hedgehog's highlights. He's still on the gold medal position on the podium, as he enjoys a look back at what he's contributed over the last 10 days. 701, 800 and something thousand. So over 701,000, which is a record crowd across all 16 editions of the IAAF World Athletics Championships. So the Javelin boys coming out first, and then the 4x1, and Catherine, we're expecting those young women in silver medal to raise the roof when they come out to receive their medals.
They will indeed. First the ladies for the silver, then the British men for the gold, but first an enthralling men's javelin competition last night. It was one, how far they're going to throw, and two, who was going to win it. Such is the depth this year.
Yeah, it was superb. All eyes were on the expected duel between the two Germans. Ruller, the Olympic champion, led his compatriot 6-4. Well, now it's 6-5. Ruller finished 6 centimetres shy of the podium. Here's a man who knows a thing or two about gold medals, Sergei Bubka, the legendary world and Olympic pole vault champion. Used to vault 6 metres for fun. Now then, Petr Friedrich. He beat the Olympic champion by 6 centimetres with an absolutely superb throw of 88.32. That coming in the very last round, a PB for World Championship bronze.
Médaille d'argent représentant la République tchèque.
His compatriot took the silver, just 16 centimetres off gold. Jakub Vadlic, yet another lifetime best for him. His silver medal winning throw coming in the second round.
Médaille d'or, champion du monde, représentant l'Allemagne.
The world champion was reduced to tears after a competition where he didn't quite recreate his 90-metre throw in qualifying. Didn't have to. 89 metres, 89 centimetres. First round throw, good enough for gold for Johannes Vetter. 7th in Beijing, 4th last year in Rio. Last night, he was and is on top of the world. And how sweet will the national anthem sound to him now in front of a packed stadium here in London. Cheers once again from the big man, Johannes Vetter, producing Germany's first and only gold at the championship so far. 1 gold, 2 silver, 2 bronze. He will be the toast of his nation when he gets home tomorrow after what I hope will be a great party for him and the rest of the athletes tonight. Scheduled to take place at the O2 Arena. They have laid on a wonderful show of world-class sport. They deserve a bit of a celebration later tonight. So the big men to part the podium, to be replaced by 3 teams who richly deserve their place on the stage and a moment in the spotlight. Penultimate event last night, the women's 4x1, and it caused great celebration for the home fans in the stadium.
Mesdames et messieurs, cérémonie protocolaire du relais 4x100 mètres femmes.
The medal ceremony then for the women's 4x100 metre relay. The roar is loud. 12 athletes coming out to receive World Championship medals. And the home crowd are obviously delighted that 4 of them are British. It really was a wonderful final. There's a sprinter who managed to compete against Pauline Davis-Thompson, IAAF council member. Much success, of course, with the Bahamas. Presenting the athletes with their medals.
Jamaica.
It was the team from Jamaica, though, that picked up the bronze.
Natasha Morrison, Simone Facey, Sasha Lee Forbes.
Jura Levy, Natasha Morrison, Simone Facey and Sasha Lee Forbes. Just outside 42 seconds. Many medals have been won, of course, by Jamaica in the sprint relays. But this was a medal that they really did appreciate. Just one single gold medal at this World Championships. Omar McLeod over the high hurdles. But the relay team, with no Elaine Thompson, still delivered a World Championship medal, 42.19 seconds for bronze. Then there'll be a huge roar, because the silver medal is for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Asher Phillips, Desiree Henry, Dina Asher-Smith and Daryl Neater. They picked up a medal last year in Rio. They're lowering the national record all the time. Asher Phillips 4th in the individual 200 metres. A solid team, a well-drilled team. And a silver medal for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. But the gold medal, once again, went to the US of A.
The United States of America.
We wondered what changes they'd make from the heat. And they did bring in the individual 100-metre champion, Tori Bowie. Aaliyah Brown, Alison Felix, Morale Akinison and Tori Bowie pick up the gold medal, 41.82 seconds. The 15th World Championship medal for Alison Felix. She continues to run fast and break records. And what a championships for Tori Bowie. Individual gold in the 100, 4x1 gold in the relay.
Mesdames et messieurs, l'hymne national des États-Unis d'Amérique.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the United States of America.
The 7th time that the USA have won gold at the World Championships in the short relay. They did it again last night. The United States of America absolutely smashing the medal table. 9 gold, 10 silver, 8 bronze, 27 in total. Kenya are next on the list with 8. It has been a superb World Championships for them. And their women came together, got the baton round and delivered a gold medal again.
Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés des championnats du monde.
Well, if the reception for the British women was loud, the men's 4x1 presentation might just eclipse that. The first time in history any British quartet have become world champions. Silver twice, once in 93, once in 99, but never a gold until last night. Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake on the anchor leg. It was Great Britain from the United States with Jamaica in third. In the old days, Usain Bolt may well have stormed through the centre of both of them. As it was, his leg gave out, and Christian Coleman tried to close down Mitchell-Blake, but he just couldn't quite get there. Stunning race that lit up the stadium on a night when many people were expecting Great Britain's second gold to come from Sir Mo Farah. Silver this time for the mercurial distance runner. Gold came from the relay boys. So we'll get to that presentation shortly. We've just got a quick glimpse of the men warming up for the high jump final. That officially gets underway in around about 12 minutes. So here we go. A medal ceremony that will certainly get the crowd in the mood for the evening's entertainment. Listen to this. And they haven't even been introduced yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the 4x100 metres relay men.
A fine race. And easy to forget, whilst the home crowd went absolutely wild for the British quartet. The Japanese team produced a fantastic run. Hiroshi Yokokawa will be delighted to be making this presentation. On the outside, they once again produced a fantastic run, as they did for silver last year in Rio. Not necessarily a team with individual stars who can knock out 9.8s for fun, but a fantastic combined team effort. Tada, Izuka, Kiruya and Fujimitsu. Silver for the Japanese last year in Rio. It's another global medal for them, this time the bronze. A shining example of what teamwork and clean baton exchanges can do. Nobody was watching them on the outside, and here they are on the global podium once more, just as they were in Rio 12 months ago.
USA.
So many times they've won this event, although not since 2007 in Osaka. They hoped they would be beating their arch rivals, the Jamaicans, for another gold. Silver this time for Gatlin after his individual gold in the 100 metres. Great performance. Jalen Bacon, Mike Rogers and Christian Coleman finishes his week in London with 2 silver medals. They were desperate to reclaim their crown, but they were to be denied by a brilliant quartet who no doubt were inspired by the incredible noise in the stadium, which will be recreated now as they step up on the podium for Great Britain's second gold. All of them running the race of their lives. A great lead leg from CJ Uja. He has taken a step up in class this year. Danny Talbot a PB in the 200 metres, a fine bend on the third leg. Jamili got them all fired up. And the fourth name that will be read in the history books, Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake. Uja, Talbot, Jamili, Mitchell-Blake. A new British record and a moment of history. The first British gold medal in the men's 4x1 in World Championship history. And how this anthem will be savoured by them and 50,000 in the stadium. Whatever these four young men go on to achieve in the rest of their careers, they will always have a place in the history books, and they will never, ever forget tonight. Great Britain on top in the men's 4x1 relay. What a way to round off the penultimate night. Will there be more drama and more to celebrate for the host nation throughout the course of this evening? Well, another packed crowd, as we said at the start, a world record attendance across the 10 days. It's a brilliant atmosphere this evening. And in part, we have this guy to thank. Wow. So, Hedgehog has made a big contribution to the last 10 days. Let's have a reminder of what he's been up to. He has made a big contribution to the last 9 days. Any future mascots at the next editions of the IAAF World Championships, well, he or she will have a lot to live up to. Here's the fanfare for the men's high jump, the trumpeters of the Irish Guard. The stage is set, and now come the introductions. Matthias Chabilko, second best jumper in the world this year, German national champion. Mutas Barshim, is this finally his night to deliver an outdoor global gold? US champion this year, NCAA champion a few years ago, Brian McBride of the United States. Ilya Ivanyuk, European under-23 champion 2 years ago. Daniel Lysenko, third best jumper in the world this year. The oldest man in the competition, European bronze medalist last year, Aiki Onen from Bulgaria, fifth in the Europeans last year, Timur Ivanov. Listen to this reception for the Olympic bronze medalist. Is he coming back to form? Can he secure another global medal? Robbie Grabars. Bondarenko hoping to join the legendary Javier Sotomayor as a two-time world champion. He last won in Moscow. And the Syrian Majed Ghazil carried the flag for his country in London and Rio. 30 years of age, a huge talent. And from Mexico, set a PB in qualifying, the 26-year-old Edgar Rivera. The final of the men's high jump. Here is the complete lineup. Chabilko has jumped 2:35 this year. Barshim, an Olympic silver in Rio, a bronze here in London. Is it finally his time to deliver an outdoor senior global gold? He's certainly got the form and the belief. Lysenko, neutral athlete here. Robbie Grabars equalled his season's best in qualifying, 2:31. Bondarenko, gold in Moscow, silver in Beijing. Ghazal and Rivera. So, we thought that Barshim was in good form coming here. That is ridiculous. A scissor jump over 6 feet. He really is on form, but for the talent he's got, he should surely have already become a global outdoor champion. Is it his time to finally deliver?
Championship record was set in Moscow in 2013 by Bondarenko.
2:20. Matthias Chabilko didn't qualify for Beijing or Rio. Much better this year. Only 7th in the European indoors. But here he goes. Bearing in mind his lifetime best is 2:35 this season. Yeah, smooth as you like from the German national champion. He's up and running. Really good crowd in again this evening for the climax of the 10 days. That scissor kick from Barshim was ridiculous. Speaking of which, Barshim was the only man to qualify at 2:31 without a single miss on his card. This should be very straightforward for the favourite and the world leader. Oh my gosh. He could have got a hippo between himself and the bar there and still gone over.
He is in wonderful form, Rob. As you say, heads the world rankings, 2:38. It's the battles he's had previously, isn't it? If you look at 2-3 years ago, we were talking about that world record of Javier Sotomayor 2:45, which was set back in 1993, being challenged. He was in a group then. But for me, this year, he's just gone a little bit head and shoulders above everybody else. But of course, you can't discount Bondarenko. He's the 4th best jumper of all time as well.
Brian McBride, US champion this year. Quite close to his lifetime best in qualifying. Here he goes, hoping to join Jabilko and Barshim with an easy clearance of 2:20. Yep. Good work from the American. We lost Eric Kennard at the start of the competition in qualifying. A real shame for the American global medalist. Clearly arrived with an injury problem, and well, he sort of ran through the high jump mat. So no Eric Kennard, but we do have Brian McBride in the final. Ilya Ivanyuk, European under-23 champion, just missed a medal in the World Juniors in 2012. So no failures yet from anyone on 2:20. Yep. Could be a good standard, this competition. It's the joint highest quality of any qualifying competition in World Championship history. 6 men cleared 2:31. Calvin Harris Fields booming around the stadium on the PA system. Party atmosphere here this evening. They want to round off a fine championships in great style. Daniil Lysenko, 2:34 this year, only just turned 20, a youth Olympic champion, Russian, competing as a neutral, hence ANA, authorised neutral athlete. Shorter run up than one or two of the others. Oh, absolutely miles clear there. Russians have produced some really great high jumpers over the years. He looks like another. So, the 20-year-old, he looked like he just skipped over that. From the youngest in the competition to the oldest. Lysenko's 20, Iker Onen is now 35. He made the final 10 years ago in Osaka. 2:34 his lifetime best, 2:30 this season. Let's see if the German veteran can join everyone else with a nice early settler. First time clearance at 2:20. Bar comes down for the first time in the competition. As we saw in the women's high jump final, those early failures can prove really costly. If you end up clearing the same height as an opponent, if he's got a clearer card than you, you are much further down the leaderboard at the end of the competition. Timur Ivanov of Bulgaria, 10th last year in Rio, not too far away from the European podium either. 2:31, his lifetime best this season. Well, that was pretty lackluster. So the last two jumpers will have to come back, and there'll be a fair amount of excitement now in the stadium as the Olympic bronze medalist from London gets ready to jump for the first time. 2:37 his PB. Robbie Grabar's equalled his season's best in qualifying. He's not in tip-top shape by his own standards, but he is the master of getting it right when it counts. World indoor silver last year. Is this going to be another global medal for the Briton? Yeah, good start by Robbie. Had his injury problems over the years, battled his demons.
3 more athletes still to go. Bondarenko will be next.
6 men, clear at 2:20 at the first time of asking, and our other field event final about to get going.
It is, Rob, from one end of the stadium to the other. The final of the women's discus throw. 12 athletes vying for gold on this final night of competition.
The stadium, it's time for the women's discus throw final.
So that's the last time the fanfare will be played, because this is the final field event. Here's your lineup. Yang Cheng of China, 7th in Rio last year, 26 years old now. And from Germany, Julia Harting, European Championship silver medalist last year. From Australia, a former world champion, Danny Stevens, world number 4 this year. Also from China, twice the Asian champion, Jinju Su. And then from Cuba, the defending champion, bronze in Rio, Denia Caballero. And then next to her, the double Olympic champion, the world leader from Croatia, Sandra Perkovic. Next from Germany, the 2011 world silver medalist, Nadine Muller. And from Cuba, the former world junior champion, Jaime Perez. Another athlete from China, Bing Feng. Then from Brazil, the South American record holder, Andressa de Moris. And from France, the Olympic silver medalist, Melina Ruber-Michon. And completing the lineup from Lithuania, 61.48 this season, Zinada Sendrit. So, 12 athletes, your lineup for the women's discus throw final. It's going to be really interesting, this. Sandra Perkovic of Croatia is by far the best thrower in the world this year, over 71 metres. But you can see with 2 relay finals to end these world championships, it's super busy. But the women's 800-metre final later, Leon Saba, she's looking to play her part. The athlete from Burundi, the Olympic silver medalist. World indoor champion last year in Portland. There's some American representation, RJ Wilson. Well, she's the new US record holder this year. She could potentially get herself on the podium here, Wilson. She's in super form, under 2 minutes to qualify. But back in the stadium, the first throw in the women's discus final. Chen of China, the Asian champion this year, 62 meters and 90 is her season's best. 62.71 to qualify. She'll get us underway. Glorious evening once again here in London, absolutely packed. Well, falls just below the 60-metre line. As I mentioned, inside the top 8 in Rio last year, 7th in those Olympic Games. A modest 58 metres and 19. So Julia Harting, there's her husband, married multiple world champion Robert Harting in September last year. So Harting enters the circle. A silver medal at the European Championships last year. .61 metres and 70 in qualifying. Well, it's over the 60-metre line. husband Robert, of course, didn't make the final here in the men's discus. Heavily medalled though in the past, Robert Harting. So it's going to be the early lead in this women's discus final. Going to be close to a qualifying throw, actually. Well, 61 metres and 34. Goes into the early lead. So Danny Stevens of Australia, the world champion in Berlin in 2009. Born and lives in Sydney. World number 4 this year, 66 metres and 78. She opens her campaign. Oh, that's a good one. You can see just below the 65-metre line. Commonwealth champion in 2014. Just missed a medal in Rio last year. Finished 4th in the Olympic Games. So she's going to surpass Harting's 61 metres and 34. 64 metres and 23. She goes into the lead. So the second Chinese athlete to start their campaign. Jinju Su, 25-year-old. Oh, well, that's a no throw because it's gone out the sector.
Well, I thought Timur Ivanov's first attempt was a little bit lacklustre at 220. Sadly, the 23-year-old Bulgarian has decided he cannot continue participating in this final. A real shame for him. His campaign for glory here in London is over.
So back into the discus. Next up to throw. Here she is, the defending world champion, Denia Caballero. Bronze in Rio last year, but it was a wonderful win. In Beijing 2015, she finally beat Sandra Perkovic after 7 successive defeats. She's looking for a good one to open her campaign. Well, it's dropped below the 65-metre line. Remember, Stevens has the lead with 64 metres and 23. .63 metres and 22, slots into silver. So here's the athlete in form. In Bellinzona this year, through 71 metres and 41, the best women's discus throw since 1972. Sandra Perkovic of Croatia. She's won the world title before, so she knows how to get that job done. Her first throw of the competition. Oh my Lord! That is outstanding, just what she wanted. She never needs any encouragement to get pumped up to Sandra Perkovic. The crowd, though, responding to that huge throw. The double Olympic champion nearing the 70-metre line. Well, I talked about that 71-metre plus throw. She started in form, 69 metres and 30. Of course, straight into the lead. Nadine Muller of Germany, world silver medalist in 2011. First throw. Well, it's approaching the 65-metre line. So Perkovic, 69 metres and 30, pushes Danny Stevens of Australia down into second place, 64 metres and 23, so it's going to be close to that one. 64 metres and 13, slots in behind Stevens into third. Perez of Cuba. She's going to be a danger because she's the world number 2 this year with 69 metres and 19. She had no mark in the Olympic final last year in Rio. Didn't qualify for the final in London in 2012. But in wonderful form this year. Oh, it's the speed. The arm gets whipped through so quickly. But between the 60 and 65 metre line, she doesn't look particularly happy with it. Former world junior champion. So it's going to be no improvement on the lead. 62.54, she goes into 5th.
Barshim, 2:25. Oh my goodness me. He's clearing these early heights for fun. That looked so easy. Ivanyuk. Well, surely he can't make this look as impressive as Barshim, can he? Well within his comfort zone here. That was good. Not as much to spare as the world leader, but a clean card once again. Shabilko, by the way, and McBride have both missed with their first attempts. Lysenko, this 20-year-old Russian, competing as a neutral, national champion. 2:34 this season for Lysenko. Real star of the future. Little wobble, stays on. Now Robbie Grabars. Remember, these first-time clearances at the lower heights are really important when it gets to the business end of these competitions. Listen for the reaction if he gets it. Yeah, he is a showman, he is a character, and he's clearly in the mood tonight. Oh, what about a solid start there from Grabars. Now, Bondarenko was the only man who skipped 2:20, so this is his opening jump. He has shaved his beard off for this competition. Samson in reverse. Well, let's see. Wild eyes for the Ukrainian. World champion in Moscow. Silver in Beijing. Oh, no, that's a bit ragged. Well, I wonder if he's regretting, not the beard, I wonder if he's regretting not coming in and settling down at 2:20. That could be important later on in the competition. He was absolutely miles away. So Bondarenko, a little bit of thinking to do here. Majd Ghazal, joint 7th last year in the Olympic final. A really important ambassador for his country. Very proud Syrian. Here he goes. Yeah, that's better. Good work there from Ghazal. Really surprised about Bondarenko. Meanwhile, back to the discus.
Robert Michon of France, her first attempt in this women's discus final. Olympic silver last year in Rio, in her 5th Olympic Games. Well, she's gone over the 65-metre line. Remember, Perkovic leads with 69 metres and 30. Danny Stevens is in silver, 64.23. So Robert Michon is going to slot herself in to the silver medal position. .65 metres and 49, a season's best. She does go into second.
Now, if you were watching qualifying, you may remember this guy went absolutely wild when he secured an outdoor PB. Bit of a character, this Mexican, based in Cologne. Can he go clear? 2:25, first time of asking. Oh, yes. Nice acrobatic somersault as he hit the mat. Good work by the Mexican. Now, we've seen a first-time failure from Bondarenko at 2:25, and there's also been a first-time failure by Matthias Chibilko. Really surprising from the German. 2:35 this season. Getting himself fired up, national champion. He's had a great year and comes here with high hopes of delivering Germany another medal. This is quite important. Yeah, that's better. That was class. Little bit of pressure just being squeezed on Chibilko, and he responded really well. Bending his back and his body around the bar. Barshim clear. Now McBride, can he follow Chibilko, making amends with his second effort? US champion, 2:29 in qualifying. He's in the groove this week. Needs to turn this on. Come on, big man. Little stutter as he ran in, but he recovered well. Just about a sellout crowd tonight. Fabulous backdrop for these world-class high jumpers, and they're responding to the atmosphere that 50-odd thousand are generating all around the stadium, including over there at the high jump. Now, the old man of the group needed 3 attempts to get over 2:20, and he's failed with his first attempt at 2:25. Focused, drawing on all those years of experience. Well, nearly. He's having a few problems settling down this evening. Onen will have to come back for a third and final attempt, as he did at 2:20.
Women's discus continues. Second round throw then now for Danny Stevens of Australia in the bronze medal position. 64 metres and 23. Saw Robert Michon of France go out to 65 metres and 49. So, Stevens, round 2. Well, it's over the 65-metre line. That's good, which means it's an improvement on her 64 metres and 23. Remember, silver early doors in this women's discus throw final is 65.49 for Melina Robert Michon. It's going to be close to that. Oh, 65.46, just shy by 3 centimetres she goes and stays in third.
Well, an uncharacteristic early miss from Bondarenko, the only man who decided to skip 2:20. Chibilko cleared at the second time of asking. Oh dear, oh dear. Now that is a big, big problem for Bondarenko. World champion in Moscow is in big, big trouble here. Needs a third attempt at 2:25.
So, Denia Caballero of Cuba 63 meters and 22 in the first round. She's down in 5th. The defending champion. No, she's still landing it between the 60 and 65 meter line. It's going to be shy of her first round throw. 12 athletes in this final. Top 8 after the first 3 throws will continue in the competition. Caballero 62.88, no improvement, she stays in 5th. But an athlete that's arrived on a mission, asking the crowd for support. Perkovic of Croatia, 69 meters and 30. She's some near 4 meters ahead of the rest of the field at the moment. And as I previously mentioned, she's thrown 71.41 this season. Discus in left hand. Hands changed. The speed, the whip of the arm. You can't actually watch it, it's so fast. Oh! And once again, look at that. The championship record is 71.62, set by Hellmann of Germany back in 1987. This is over the 70-meter line. She's closing in on that championship record. 70 meters and 31, extends her lead.
Heikki Onen has one last chance to stay in the competition. It's been an untidy night for the Germans so far. Can he draw on more than a decade of international experience? Pressure's on. No, not to be for the 35-year-old German. So he goes out at 2:25. Ivanov has retired. Wang of China didn't start this final. One by one, they're already falling by the wayside. So, disappointment for Onen. This would be a huge shock. The champion from Moscow's in big trouble here. Oh, goodness me. He really needed that. A great display of composure there from the winner 4 years ago, Bondarenko, living dangerously at his opening height.
Perez of Cuba, women's discus, round number 2. 62 meters and 54 in the first round. She's in 6th position. She whips it out, but it falls below the 60-meter line. So it'll be no improvement. She'll stay in 6th position. Be busy on the Diamond League circuit this year. 5th in Shanghai, 2nd in Oslo. She won the Stockholm Diamond League. No throw registered. So from 6th position to 7th, Binfeng of China. Just staying in that top 8 at the moment. 61 meters and 56 in the first round. Got into the top 8 last year in Rio with that 8th place finish. Well, it's very similar to her first round throw of 61.56. Really quite close in the lower positions. 8th at the moment is Julia Harting, 61.34. So there'll be no improvement for Feng. No, 60 meters and 81. She stays in 7th.
Now to the final of the women's 5,000 meters. 3 world-class Kenyans, 3 world-class Ethiopians. Gide, double world junior cross-country champion. Eilish McColgan for Great Britain. Sifan Hassan, Helena Beery. Laura Muir for Great Britain, just missed a medal in the 15. Robry, huge athlete of experience. Teferi, brilliant performer from Ethiopia. And there's Ayana, hoping to do the double, having won the 10,000 in fine style on Saturday night. Big field, this one. 15 athletes. 6 absolutely sensational East Africans and a whole host of others who'll fancy they can get in the mix. But is this the night when Helena Beery delivers an outdoor global gold. World indoor champion over 3,000, silver last year in Rio. She looks poised, she looks nervous, but she's in cracking form. So too is this man. Piece of cake at 2:20 and 2:25. Jabilko, expected to be one of Barshim's big rivals, has once again missed his first attempt at 2:29. It's all looking good for Barshim at the moment. Can he keep it going? Oh my gosh, he's making that look ridiculously easy. The omens are good here. A world junior champion, an Asian junior champion, a world indoor champion, never a gold outdoors, silver last year in Rio, bronze in London, tied with Robbie Grabars. McBride needed 2 at 2:25, and by the way, Bondarenko has passed at 2:29 despite the fact that he only squeaked over at 2:25 at the third time of asking. Ukrainian trying to make up for those 2 failures. McBride, first attempt at 2:29. US champion. No. Knows he needs more. So we'll keep you across the high jump final. Well, what a race this is going to be, over 5,000 metres. 2 talented Americans, 2 Britons. And is this the night that Helen Obiri, a bit like Barshim in the high jump, delivers her first senior global outdoor gold? We will take you through the lineup. It's the final of the women's 5,000 metres. The field packed with talent. Tiranish Kababa, one of only 2 women to have done the 5 and 10,000 metre double. Back in 2005, Vivian Cheriot in 2011. Almazayana hoping to do the same. Gide, very talented Ethiopian, double world junior cross-country champion. Sifan Hassan. Obiri, hard to call her the favourite, but she's in really good form. She's won 10 out of her 12 races this year. Will Almazayana manage to double up where she struggled a little bit in the 5,000 last year in Rio? The defending champion, the reigning world and Olympic champion over 10,000 metres, but when she tried to double up in Rio last year, she ran out of gas on the last few laps and faded to 3rd. From Inns of the Netherlands, Julian, one of 2 Americans. Teferi, silver medalist in the World Cross and the 10,000 metres 2 years ago. 3rd fastest in the world this year, a brilliant young talent at the age of 22. Robbery, don't rule her out if it's tactical. Laura Muir, so close to a medal in the 15, denied by Casta Semenya, finished 4th, a second chance of a medal for Great Britain in front of the home crowd. World indoor champion over 3,000 metres, fastest woman in the world this year, silver medalist in the Olympics. Is it going to be gold for Obiri tonight? Hassan, very fast, just missed a medal in the 15. Elish McColgan, PB in qualifying, very close to her mum's personal best over 5. Remember, mum Liz won the 10,000 in the searing heat of Tokyo in '91. The Tessenbet Gide, I watched her win the World Cross in Kampala as a junior. She's a huge talent, still only 19. Molly Huddle, agonisingly eased up in the final of the 10 in Beijing, and her compatriot Emily Infeld came through to deny her the bronze. 8th in the 10,000 this time. Geza Hein, former world indoor champion, and Sheila Kiprotich on the inside for Kenya, African champion last year, former world youth champion as well. An absolutely loaded field, this one. Is it Obiri's day to shine, or can Ayana do the famous 5,000, 10,000 double? Oh, it's such an experienced field. You might think it might be tactical, but look at this. Kalkidan Gezahein, the former Ethiopian who represents Bahrain, former world indoor champion over 1,500. She's gone out very hard. Grabars is in 2nd place at the moment. Remember, Chabilko, one of the big men in the hunt for gold, has had 2 failures, one at 25 and one at 29. Bondarenko's had 2 failures at 2:25. A clean card could be very important here for Grabars if it gets tight for the medals. Oh no, he looked as though he had the height there. So Grabars will have 2 more attempts. Could be costly, that one, at the business end of the competition. And Steve, Gezahein of Bahrain went to the front really quickly, yes, and all of a sudden it's, well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, with their jogging, they really are. Buri, they're just really blowing her nose as she runs along here. It's ridiculous pace. Hassan moved to the front. I thought she was going to inject a bit of pace. Ayana, they're just jogging on the spot. And this is going to be, they've got to be careful when this happens, because those behind are getting anxious. And just as I say that, Ayana kicks in. Now remember, Ayana won the 10,000 metres. Her last 5,000 metres, the last half of the 10, she ran in 14:24. And that has only been beaten this year by the girl that's, the woman I should say, in second place, Uburi, in just the 5,000. So she ran the second half of the 10 faster than any of the other athletes in this race have raced this year. Now, she really needs to use that strength. She really needs to take the sting out of someone like Uburi, because Uburi now knows what she's got to do. She's got to shadow Ayana as best she can.
Well, it's an insane pace, really, because it looked as though Ayana was taking it on, as she loves to do and did in the 10, and then she slowed it right down again. As Teferi, the silver medalist in the 10,000 metres from Beijing, now takes it on, but they're not exactly rocking and rolling. Obiri's got a really good range of distances, Steve. Won the Rome 5,000, won the London Diamond League mile here, and won the 3,000 in Monaco. She's in cracking form across a range of distances, stamina and speed.
What we mustn't forget is, like the steeplechase, if the Africans mess around, slowing the pace right down, then the Americans, Huddle, Roby and Houlihan, as we saw in the steeplechase for women, they could take advantage of this slow pace. So it is really, at the moment, open to everybody.
2:40 for the first 800 metres is incredibly slow by the standards of these world-class women. Teferi from Ayana. Guide, watch for Guide. She's an absolutely brilliant youngster. Just tucked in on the inside of Biri, Kiprotich and Kip Kemboy. Edgar Rivera. First attempt at 2:29. Barshim is the only man clear at the first time of asking at 2:29. He really is looking absolutely sensational, the man from Qatar. Mexicans in good form. His brother got a world long jump bronze back in Moscow. Great family genes. Had a fine performance in qualifying. Rivera, based in Cologne. No. So still, Barshim is the only man clear at 2:29. Bondarenko, by the way, as I said, has passed 2:29, having needed a third attempt to get over 2:25, his opening height.
Right, here we go. Ayana now started to really pile on the pace. It really was ridiculous for those first 2 laps, and it really is playing to the hands, if they carried on like that, of the fast finishers. Hassan just in about 6th or 7th place. Would be loving the fact that it was slow, but then Ayana started kicking it in, and Uburi now just behind, and they're starting to string out in Indian file.
This is a familiar pattern in the races with Almaz Ayana, aiming to replicate the 10,000 metre double secured by her compatriot Tirunesh Tababa, the world record holder in Helsinki in 05. Vivian Chariot also did the double in Daegu, and look at this, Ayana off the front with Ubiri, the 2 main protagonists locked together. Ayana where she likes to be, leading, but Ubiri is tracking her every move. And with 10 wins from 12 races this year, Ubiri will not be intimidated by the world and Olympic champion and world record holder over 10,000 metres. Ubiri will believe this is her best distance, with Ayana's best at 10,000.
Well, we saw Ayana in the heats really struggle with a sprint, so she knows what she's got to do here. And in that one lap, she had split the rest of the field up into groups. just behind her, Uburi. Then Teferi just behind that, with the others just in a group of 4 or 5 there, and then the main group behind that of about 7 athletes.
Yes, it's Ayana leading with 8 to go, followed by Ubiri, Teferi, Gide, and then the 2 other Kenyans. That's the best of the rest. Gezahein, the Bahrainian, leading that group with the young Dutch athlete Kroomins, coming now past Gezahein, the former world indoor champion, deciding that she needs to try and chase down her compatriot Sifan Hassan, who's at the back of the second group. These two are away and now embroiled in a massive duel. There's Kroomins, 66.2 there for Almaz Ayana. Robbery tracking Kroomins. That's the third group. They're on the right of your picture there. There's the second group of chasers containing 5. It's Gide, the 19-year-old, leading Kemboy, Kiprotich, Hassan and Teferi. Wow. This is great to see, Steve. 2 women at the peak of their powers. Both want the gold. Both not afraid to put it out there with 7 laps to go. It's a brave early move from Ayana, knowing that Ubiri's in such good form immediately behind her.
She certainly is. I mean, this is the race we all expected. It wasn't really going to be, I don't think, fast from the start. They were both playing around there, waiting perhaps for someone to help out with the pace. But now that there wasn't, Ayana decides, well, this is it. I'm going to stretch everybody out. The gap is widening between Ayana and Ubiri. There's now, 20 metres for the chasing group. So the pace is relentless. The big question is whether Ubiri can sustain staying with the woman. Dropping a little bit there. That's a 68.
Well, we're so often used to these races being cat and mouse, but we're now beginning to see a familiar pattern where Ayana is concerned. She absolutely puts the hammer down and rips these races to pieces. And by the way, what was a second chase group has splintered, and Kroomins is bringing 1 or 2 of them back to what is now a really big chase group. That's good work from the tall Dutchwoman, who closes down on the 2 Ethiopians just ahead of her. And Laura Muir now tagging on to the back, closing in on Robbery, with Julian also very much in the mix. Gezahein looks like she's really struggling. She's off the back. But still, Steve, a huge gap up to the world indoor champion Ubiri in second. Ayana bidding for the double. These two with a lead of somewhat 30 metres or so. Lysenko, national champion. Second attempt at 2:29. Yes, he is the second man clear after Barshim. Barshim's the only one with a perfect card so far. The man from Qatar looking good. Grabars in third place at the moment. Second attempt at 2:29. Massive noise from the crowd. Could really do with this. Oh no. Season's best, 2:31. He's going to have some anxious moments, Robbie Grabars, the bronze medalist here 5 years ago. What a race this is turning out to be between Almaz Ayana and Helen Ubiri.
And Ayana must sense, really, Ubiri is there. She's literally clipping her heels all the way. This is the race we anticipated, and it is really delivering, because Ayana is pushing ahead now. They've got almost 100 metres on the rest of the field. Hassan, I think, is in third place at the moment, just behind her, Teferi, and a group of 2 or 3 vying for that bronze medal, I suppose, if these two keep it going, and I can't see them not doing that. Ayana, every time she comes down the straight, she looks up at the scoreboard and she sees that Ubiri is there. If she can't see it, she must sense it. Well, we've seen some great races in the 5,000 metres, didn't we? With Kajalcha taking it really to Mo Farah over the last lap. And then Idris coming through. That was a great 5,000. We've got a great 5,000 here because these are the main protagonists. Ayana and Uburi.
An absolutely enormous lead for the two women vying for this world title. Hassan leads the chasers. It's Kipkemboi in fourth, another 68-second lap. There's Kipkemboi. Teferi there. He is in fifth place with Krumins just behind her. Muir and Robbery tracking Guide, but they have become a little bit detached from Kiprotich, who is now coming up onto the shoulder of Krumins and closing down the three women currently battling for bronze. But this is the duel we wanted to see, Steve. It's the might of the East Africans. 3 laps to go in the final of the women's 5,000 metres. Separated by the Great Rift Valley, the best of Ethiopia against the best of Kenya. A great rivalry, but what unites them is their love of distance running. It's the #1 sport in both countries, and in Addis Ababa and Nairobi and all across the rural areas of both beautiful countries, people will be listening to radios and watching on television to see which nation in this great rivalry tonight comes out on top.
2.5 laps to go. Ayana really has now got to start piling it on because Uburi knows that she's coming in to the sort of distance that she can cope with if it's a sprint. Ayana pushing hard. Every single stride that she does is matched by the woman behind her. Coming in now to 2 laps, 800 metres of the track. Ayana, I don't think, has got the sort of leg speed that Uburi has got. Maybe she'll prove me wrong, but she's got to start stretching out now. She's got to start pushing because the shadow behind her has not moved. Teferi is in third, Hassan just behind her. Those are chasing for the bronze.
Inside the last 2 laps in this, the final of the women's 5,000 metres. Ayana hoping to produce a truly historic double over 5 and 10,000 metres. Obiri, world indoor champion over 3,000. A world crown could await her here. And look at this, 650 metres to go. Obiri tries to come on the outside. Ayana says no. And Obiri's really going to have to earn this one. 69.2, they've slowed a fraction.
Well, that was really, really important. Obiri tried there, didn't she? And Ayana said, no, I'm not beaten yet. You're going to have to stay behind me. You're going to have to wait. And by doing that, she's put the pressure on Obiri. She said to you, I'm ready. If you come past me, I'm still going to be there. We're coming up now to the last lap in the women's 5,000 metres. This epic battle between two of the greatest women distance runners is about to go over the last lap.
They take the bell in the final of the women's 5,000 metres. A sellout crowd here at the World Championship are roaring both women on. They're putting absolutely everything on the line here. An incredible duel. They are taking each other to places they didn't know existed. And look at Helen Obiri. She is streaking away from Almaz Ayana. She's been the world indoor champion. She has so often come up close. The Olympic silver medalist is going to become the world champion here. She's beating one of the all-time greats. The world record holder and Olympic champion over 10,000 metres is beaten into silver as Obiri has the whole crowd on their feet. It's a golden, glorious moment for Kenya. Helen Obiri is finally on top of the world. What a run from the Kenyan. Absolutely sensational. Almaz Ayana settles for silver this time, and what a bronze for Sifan Hassan, having just missed out in the 1,500 metres. The battle was on. Ayana held firm, but when Obiri struck down the back straight, at that point the Ethiopian was broken, and she instantly knew that it was destined to be silver over the 5,000. Helen Obiri with the performance of her life, and she will without doubt be the toast of the Kenyan team tonight.
A great run from Obiri. She did everything she had to do. And so did Ayana. Ayana couldn't give any more. She won the 10. She came back. Hassan, great performance from her. She came so hard over that last 400 metres to take that bronze medal. Wow, wonderful, wonderful competition there, really. It lived up to the expectations. The first 2 or 3 laps, though, I think, were pedestrian. Maybe that destroyed the time, because the time wasn't that fast in the end. 14:34. They came home fast, but that ridiculous 2 or 3 laps as they started the race really dropped the pace. But it didn't affect the result, I don't think.
Do you know what was so enjoyable about that, Steve? As Abiri scorched home with a 60-second last lap. What was so enjoyable about that, from a distance running fan's perspective, both of them not afraid to take it on. They knew how good they both were. They knew how good the other one was, and they were pouring their hearts out on that track. There was nothing left in the tank from either women. A really brave run from both of them, and what an effort from Ayana to try and do the golden double. Gold and bronze in Rio last year, gold and silver this time. What a fine, fine athlete she is, even though she's lost her title here tonight. No disgrace with that silver medal at all.
Well, Hassan there, congratulating Abiri, gold and bronze. But yeah, it's a great race. It really was. All credit to Ayana. It is so hard to lead and try and take the sting out of your competitors, especially when they're there every single step of the way, every single lap. The concentration that woman must have had just to keep going is intense. This is Abiri, though, just relaxing through. That last lap, as we said, 60 seconds, but she didn't kick until over the back straight, so she probably run well under 60 if she'd have kept going all the way.
At last, a global senior outdoor title for Helen Abiri. The Form Woman of the Year beats the world record holder and the victor here over 10,000 metres. Tonight, though, belonged to Abiri. Two field event finals going on tonight. Here's Ghazal, Syrian flag bearer, here in London 5 years ago. Second attempt, 2:29. Oh, that's an excellent clearance by him, hence the reaction. And that puts him up to second place. Chabilko. Well, considering the season he's had, this would be a shock if he was to go out at 2:29. Getting himself fired up. Failed once at 2:25. This is it. Got to clear this to keep his aspirations alive. Oh my goodness me. It had a little wobble, but it stays up. Living a little bit dangerously there, the German champion. Out of the medals, but he is still in the competition. Brandon McBride, the US champion. Can he go clear at his third effort? As we've just seen Chabilko. Short run up by the American. No. Not to be for McBride. Excellent effort to get into the final, and one by one they're slipping by the wayside here in this competition.
Women's discus final continues. Perez, fourth round. Just the one valid throw so far. That's 62 metres and 54. Well, it's very close to the 65-metre line. Top 8 athletes now contesting rounds 4, 5 and 6. So it's going to be an improvement. Bronze at the moment is Robert Michon of France. Well, it is an improvement. 64.82. She goes into fourth.
Ivanyuk needs this. No. The Russian competing as a neutral also follows McBride out. No medal for him tonight. Well, bearing in mind we had 6 men over 2:31 in qualifying, it hasn't necessarily been the quality we were expecting so far in this final. The Olympic bronze medalist from London 2012 requires a big clearance here to keep his dreams alive in front of his home crowd. No, that is such a shame for Robbie Grabars. He looked as though he was coming back to some good form. No medal for the Briton tonight this time. So, Edgar Rivero. This is only a centimetre shy of his lifetime best indoors. Needs this, the Mexican. Barshim, by the way, is the only man to have cleared 2:29 at the first time of asking. Rivera, yes, that's better. Well, he's performing at the very peak of his powers here, Edgar Rivera. A brilliant clearance. He's still in the competition.
So there's been some moving and shaking in this women's discus throw final. What can Danny Stevens now do in round number 4? 65-46 in the second round. There really is a battle for the medals behind Sandra Perkovic. Oh, well, that's well over the 65-metre line. Remember, Perkovic leads with 70 metres and 31. And the Australian, 9 times their Australian champion now in the discus. 66 metres and 82, a season's best. She goes into silver.
Shabilko's already failed his first attempt at 2:32. Oh my goodness me, he has got wings on his heels tonight. 4 jumps, 4 effortless clearances. He is on his own at the moment. Can he stay there for a first global outdoor senior title? Lysenko, 1 failure at 2:29. This to join Barshim clear at 2:32. But he would still be behind the man from Qatar with that 1 failure at 2:29. He's only 20. Oh yes, great work there from the youngster. 2 men clear at 2:32. Navas is out, McBride is out, Ivanyuk's out. It's hotting up that high jump. Helena Beery is the world champion. What a fine, fine burst of speed on the last lap. Almaz Ayana the silver this time after gold in the 10, and Sifan Hassan picks up the bronze. Now, it's been a funny night for the 2013 world champion. Devoid of the beard in qualifying. Bondarenko skipped 2:20, needed 3 attempts at 2:25. Skipped 2:29, I guess knowing that those 2 early failures at 25 would be costly, and here he is attempting a first-time clearance at 2:32, hoping to join Javier Sotomayor as a 2-time world high jump champion, but he gave himself a massive scare at 2:25. Is it normal service resumed for the hugely talented Ukrainian? No, it's not happening for him tonight, whereas Barshim so far hasn't put a foot wrong.
So he can't help himself, Hero the Hedgehog. Sandra Perkovic, she's in a wonderful position, so she's seeing the funny side of it. And it is Perkovic that leads with that throw of 70 metres and 31. But here's Perez of Cuba. She's in 4th place at the moment with her 4th round throw of 64 metres and 82. Bronze, Robert Michon of France, 65 metres and 49. Well, it's heading towards the 65-metre line, but it won't be an improvement. She's going to stay in 4th. You look at the huge throws that Sandra Perkovic has thrown out. 70 metres and 31. She backed that up with a 70 metres and 28. There's only one other athlete in the whole of this women's discus throw final that's ever thrown over 70 metres. That's Caballero of Cuba, but no improvement for Perez. She stays in 4th.
Gazal, his first attempt at 2:32. He is in the bronze medal position at the moment. Long way to go here, although some of the big names have gone out. Javelin, one of the best jumpers in the world this year, has had one failure at 2:32. This would be a massive clearance for Gazal. Now, this would equal his season's best. Remember, his PB, the 30-year-old, is 2:36. Been around a long time. Flag bearer for his country. There'll be a lot watching him back home. No, a long way off with that one. But he is in 3rd. Barshim and Lysenko, the only men clear at 2:32. Lysenko in 2nd after one failure at 2:29.
So here's the athlete I was talking about, Denia Caballero. She is a 70-metre thrower at her best, but it was a couple of years ago. She's in 5th place, though, at the moment, dropping again below the 65-metre line. Well, it's going to improve her first round throw of 63 metres and 22. But remember, bronze at the moment is the French athlete, 65.49. So she's not going to get herself yet onto the medal podium. 64 metres and 37, stays in 5th.
Rivera looking for a first clearance at 2:32. That would be a PB. Great effort from the Mexican to still be in the hunt here when bigger names have gone. Barshim still has this under control at the moment.
Meanwhile, the women are just about to come onto the centre stage for a great 800 metres. Casta Semenya there, the reigning champion. Well, she has the ability really to take control of this race, but behind her, though, in the race, there are some athletes, Wilson and Bishop, who may decide to go fast right from the word go. As we saw from Mariana, maybe that is the tactic to try and take the sting out of the likes of Casta Semenya. Wambui there, the Kenyan, obviously one of the big favourites in the race, but they're just behind this stand at the moment in the call-up area.
Now, Mateus Chabilko out of the medals at the moment. He's in 5th. Second attempt, 2:32. Just checking something with one of the officials. So they're clearly making him wait, because we have the intros coming with all the pyrotechnics for the women's 800 metres. South Africa's golden girl hoping for yet more glory.
They're ready and they're poised for 2 laps of the track here at the London Stadium. The final of the women's 800 metres. Lindsay Sharp running through. Hitochka running through. There's Casta Semenya. RJ Wilson. Bishop. Neon Saba. Lipsy and Wambui. So the athletes are out. Casta Semenya will start in lane number 4. A bronze medal over the 1500 metres. But this is her favoured event. 2 times a world champion now, in 2009 and in 2011. And also now a 2-time Olympic champion, 2012 and 2016. She's going for 3 gold medals at World Championships. She's trying to match Maria Mutola's record of 3 golds. Mutola, of course, has 5 in total. But Semenya, 1:55.27 this season, really is the overwhelming favourite in this women's 800 metres. Last defeated in Berlin in September 2015. But how will she run this final? Because as Steve Ovett mentioned, there's athletes in this race that might grab it by the scruff of the neck and take it out. That's Francine Niyonsaba of Burundi, 24 years old now, also sub 156 this season.
Well, there's the front runners in this race, the Wilson and the Bishops, and also the fast finishers in this race, like this woman here, Niyonsaba, Wambui and Semenya. So there is the contrast between the two. It's whether the likes of someone like Wilson has the courage to go out and try and take it to the others, and whether Bishop, also a front runner, decides to go. There's the two there, Bishop, Wilson. If the gun goes and they go off hard, we're in for a good race. If they don't, it could be slow and playing into the hands of the fast finishers, Semenya, Niyonsaba, Wambui.
So the women's 800 metre final. Semenya will start in 4. Wilson and Bishop will start in 5 and 6. When she won in the Monaco Diamond League, it was her 26th successive win at 800 metres. Tried several sports before athletics, football and baseball, even a bit of karate and boxing. But the 2 laps of the 800 metres is where she's won 2 world golds and 2 Olympic titles. But before we get underway with the women's 800 metre final, well, from one #1 ranked athlete in the world to another, Sandra Perkovic enters the circle, 70 metres and 31. Round number 5. Well, you could hear her screaming after she'd released the discus. It's below the 70 metre line. It won't be an improvement. She'll stay with her big lead with 1 more throw to go. The lineup of the women's 800 metre final. Medalists from World Championships, Olympics, World Indoor Championships, all coming together once again to potentially try and win a world title. In lane number 9 then, a bronze medalist in Rio, a bronze medalist at the World Indoor Championships from Kenya, Margaret Wambui. 1:57.03 this year, under 1:57 at her best. In lane number 8 from the US, Charlene Lipsey, second at the US Championships. She trains with RJ Wilson. Let's see what they can do. In lane number 7, Francine Niyonsaba of Burundi, Olympic silver, the world indoor champion last year. Lane number 6 from Canada, Melissa Bishop, won world silver 2 years ago, 4th in Rio. In lane number 5, RJ Wilson of the USA, the US indoor champion, the US outdoor champion. In lane number 4, the best in the world now and has been for the last few major championships. Double gold at Olympics and Worlds. Lane number 3 from Poland, Angelika Hitoczka. She's the European champion over 1,500 metres. And then a big roar from the crowd here in London. Great Britain, Northern Ireland's Lindsay Sharp. 6th at the Rio Olympics last year, initially disqualified for obstruction for this final, but reinstated on appeal. So, the women's 800 metre final. Can Caster Semenya win 3 golds over the 800 metres? So let's see how this one plays out. Wilson normally likes to go out hard, the American, in lane number 5, and she's setting out her stall in this final. The new US record holder goes down the back straight. Wambui on the outside looking to swing in. Niyonsaba looking to swing in. But it will be the American that holds the inside line at the first 200 metres. But Niyonsaba is right on Wilson's shoulder. Wambui also in the mix. Sharp of Great Britain, Northern Ireland on the inside line, and Caster Semenya right in the middle of the pack.
Well, it's 27 at the 200 metres. That's fast if they go through at this sort of pace. And it's interesting to see that they're just keeping the rhythm going, although it's dropped.
So coming round to the bell in the women's 800-metre final. Neon Saba, Wilson, Wambui, Sharp, Semenya, 57.98 seconds. An injection of speed from Francine Neon Saba of Burundi. The Olympic silver medalist. Wilson's on her shoulder though. Down the back straight. Neon Saba trying to stretch out a lead, but Wilson's not letting her go. Wambui in third. Semenya in fourth at the moment, ahead of Britain's Lindsay Sharp. Melissa Bishop trying to make a move, as is Lipsy on the outside. But look at RJ Wilson. Neon Saba grits her teeth and keeps going on the inside line. Neon Saba, Wilson, Semenya. It's going to be an absolute tear-up. They know the three medalists, but in what order are they going to be? On the outside comes Caster Semenya. She was poised and she waited. Neon Saba's still fighting to hold on to the silver. She will. And RJ Wilson will pick up a bronze for the USA. Wow, 155.17. It's a lifetime best for the South African. And she does equal Maria Mutola's 3 gold medals at the World Championships. It was never in doubt. She was poised, she waited. Neon Saba tried to stretch out that 800-metre final. Wilson tried to stretch out and keep in the mix as well. But it's the fastest time in the world. It's a lifetime best. And Caster Semenya, well, 2 Olympic golds, now 3 World Championship golds over 800 metres.
Well, they tried their best, they really did. Neon Saba pushing hard all the way around that back straight. Wilson hanging on to her as much as she could. But the sheer power of this woman down the last 50 metres or so, she just literally cruised past. There wasn't even any effort at all. She moved out into lane 2 and just literally powered past those 2 women.
The 8th fastest time in history for Caster Semenya. And all 8 finalists, Lindsay Sharp in 8th for Great Britain, but all 8 finalists inside 1:59. 2 different races, gold, silver and bronze, initially were miles clear, but also what a fabulous bronze medal for RJ Wilson, national record holder. Another brilliant run by her. She really tried to take it to the now 3-time world champion over 800 metres, who, by the way, ties the great Maria Mutola. Mutola's golds, 93, 2001, 2003. So, well, her list of accolades goes on, but a brilliant bronze for Wilson.
Well, it was. The USA have got a silver and a couple of bronzes before at the World Championships. Well, she gives us a smile. It's a bronze medal for the American. And she likes to take it out hard. She tried everything she could, RJ Wilson. Let's look at the replay. Into the home straight. The 3 medalists were assured. It was just a case of when Caster Semenya was going to pounce.
27.8 for Caster Semenya over the last 200 metres. I mean, that is super speed. She took, what was it now? Look, 6 metres out of the rest of them in the last 100 metres.
Now, back with the high jump. Matthias Chabilko, you can see Semenya being interviewed there. He's been made to wait. The German needed 3 attempts to get over 2:29. Can he join Barshim and Lysenko, clearing 2:32? He's gone 2:35 this season, firing himself up, getting himself pumped for the job at hand. Needs this. He's in 5th overall. No, nowhere near. So a great breakthrough season that has seen him achieve new heights does not bring him a global medal. He's out in 5th.
So we're in the final round of the women's discus. Danny Stevens in the silver medal position, 66 metres and 82 in the fourth round. Well, Sandra Perkovic's lead of over 70 metres. It's a big ask when only athlete in the field has gone over the 70-metre line, but that is a huge effort from the Australian. Falls just below the big solid white line. Wow, her personal best is 67 metres at 99, set in 2014. The world champion in Berlin. Well, you can probably hear the scream in the background. A huge personal best, an area record, 69 metres and 64. In the silver medal position with only 2 throwers left. Wow, what a throw from Stevens. So, Danny Stevens in the silver medal position with the area record, the Australian 69.64. Melina Ribert-Mouchon of France is in the bronze medal position with 65 metres and 49. So, Ribert-Mouchon at her best is 66 metres and 73 set last year. She's going to have to pull something special out the bag here, a lifetime best by over 3 metres to upgrade herself from bronze. Well, it's over 65 metres. It might be a slight improvement on her best from round number 1. But Ribert-Mouchon, the silver medalist at the Olympics last year in her 5th Olympic Games. Well, 66 metres and 21. It's a bronze medal for the French athlete, a silver for the Australian. And Sandra Perkovic once again is crowned the world champion in the discus. Has she got something left in this final round? So, Sandra Perkovic. She's seen Danny Stevens throw a Commonwealth record of 69 metres and 64. Ribert-Mouchon finish her account. The final discus throw in the women's discus throw final here in London 2017. The final women's field event of these wonderful World Championships. She's won the gold medal. She's thrown 70 metres and 31. She loves the attention, quite rightly so. It inspires her and buoys her to throw far. The double Olympic champion. Now the double world champion. Every throw has been over 69 metres. Here she goes. The world champion again. Has she got something special for us? Well, it flies, but it drops below the 70-metre line. But Sandra Perkovic of Croatia has waited patiently throughout these World Championships for her discus final. She kisses the badge, and rightly so. A no throw in the final round, but 70 metres and 31. A huge throw. She arrived as the world leader and now leaves as a double world champion. And she still hasn't lost a competition for quite a while. So the shoes are taken off. She'll enjoy her medal celebrations, as will this athlete, Danny Stevens. Gets the flag after that Commonwealth record of 69 metres and 64. A silver medal for Australia. But the Croatian, unstoppable throughout 2017. And unstoppable here this evening. World champion again.
Bondarenko all over the place here. Oh my goodness me. He thought for a minute that was staying on, but it's been a strange night for the 2013 world champion. Well off form, bearing in mind at his best he is one of the best in the world. Now Ghazal, he is closing in on a bronze medal for Syria. This would really help. No. So he is reliant now on the only man left to jump at 2:32, failing. Mejad Ghazal on the verge of the bronze. If Rivera misses this, the Syrian is in bronze medal position. Only Barshim and Lysenko have gone clear at 2:32. This for a PB, remember, for the Mexican. Oh, not to be. Great result for him. He'll finish this competition in 4th. So Ghazal has won Syria's first ever high jump medal. It is a bronze, and look at the reaction. He can hardly believe it. What a moment that will be for him on the podium. Incredible.
Well, it'll be a wonderful moment on the podium for him, as it will be for these three athletes. Croatia, Australia and France picking up the medals in the women's discus. And Sandra Perkovic, well, she's a member of parliament now in Croatia, and she's now a world champion again.
Barshim leading at the moment. He and Lysenko have this high jump competition to themselves. Barshim leads because Lysenko had one failure at 2:29. First time clearances at 2:20, 2:25, 2:29, 2:32. All around him are falling by the wayside. He has looked absolutely electric so far, miles clear at every height. Can he turn the screw on what would be the first global outdoor gold? You just cannot see him being beaten tonight. And yes, Mutaz Esar Barshim, you really are flying here in London.
Confirmation of the women's discus final. Gold for Croatia. Sandra Perkovic wins again, 70 metres and 31. Danny Stevens with the best throw ever, and that Commonwealth record picks up the silver, and a bronze medal for France.
We've had one fine middle distance race already this evening. What about that men's 1500 metres, Steve Ovett?
Well, another big race, which really I don't suppose you can pick anybody up. Maybe it's Ashbel Kiprop, the reigning champion. If he can actually get his act together and produce the sort of form that we know, then he's being a hard man to beat.
Minimum of a silver for Lysenko. That one failure at 29 could prove costly. Barshim is on fire at the moment. No. It's looking more and more likely that it will be gold to Barshim. But the 20-year-old Russian, competing as a neutral, is a fine athlete, and he has two more chances to clear 2:35.
There you go, gold again for Semenya in a world-leading time. Burundi and the USA pick up silver and bronze.
It's the final of the men's 1500 metres. What a race in prospect. In some senses wide open. In other regards, an opportunity for Asbel Kiprop, the mercurial Kenyan, could join Nuruddin Morsali as a four-time champion. There he is, Kiprop. He's won the last three, but it depends which Asbel Kiprop turns up. When he gets it right, he makes it look so easy. But will he be switched on, and will he get his tactics right tonight?
Well, he's one of these athletes you just don't know. I mean, Asbel always, when the gun goes, rushes to the back of the field. You know, he loves just languishing at the back. Whether he can come through or not is the big question mark. He always leaves it to the last lap. Sometimes the last lap is so fast he can't get to the front, and that's the problem.
Lysenko's second attempt at 2:35. 20 years of age. Needs this, really, to stand a chance against Barshim. One more attempt to follow, but 2 misses to Barshim's clean card. Oh my gosh, how close was that? One last chance, or Barshim will be the world champion. And I don't want to jinx the man from Qatar, but the way he's jumping so far tonight, maybe he could jump something very special.
Well, there's the other 2 of the Kenyans that we mustn't rule out, Manganoi and Chariot. There they are, there's the 3 of them, just getting together just before the start. Well, that's ominous for the rest of the runners, it really is, because there's 3 of the fastest men in the world this year.
Asbel Kiprop looks as though he has got his game face on tonight. Chariot, 7th in Beijing, 1 in Stockholm. Manangoi, fastest man in the world this year, silver in Beijing. Can he stop his compatriot going 4 in a row? Lysenko needs this to stand any chance of gold, otherwise it's a fabulous silver for him, and it will be that seemingly elusive gold for Mutaz Essa Barshim. No, not to be. He has performed brilliantly here, the young Russian, and at last Barshim is a world outdoor champion to go alongside his world indoor title and his world junior title, and the manner in which he's cleared every height so far. The question is, how high can he go tonight with the whole competition put to bed and a packed stadium to impress? Lysenko gets the silver. The last individual track final of the 2017 IAAF World Athletics Championships. Just the 2 relays to come. Elkam, African champion last year. He cannot be ruled out. Really fast finisher. Asbel Kiprop, hoping to become a 4-time world champion. He is one of the greats, 3rd fastest in history. Is it another gold tonight? Sadiq Miku, Moroccan representing Bahrain, 2nd in Stockholm, big PB this year. Lewandowski, European indoor 800 and 1500 metre champion, 800 2 years ago, 1500 this year. Willis, twice an Olympic medalist, former Commonwealth champion, a wily old campaigner, still going strong. Chariot, just out of the medals 2 years ago in Beijing. We've seen that embrace between him, Kiprop and Manangoi. Kenyans are up for it. Philip Ingebrigtsen, one of 3 hugely talented brothers. Henrik was 5th here in London. Younger brother Jakob, a huge talent. European Championship bronze medalist indoors and out. Fiery eyes for Chris O'Hare. He's really up for this tonight. So too Jakob Halusa. Face a picture of concentration. Really good tactician if he's still in the mix. No Olympic champion from the United States, Mati Centrovitz, but Gregorek is here. Silver medalist Elijah Manangoi on the podium in Beijing. He says there's only one colour he's interested in tonight. And Meshal, a fine indoor runner over 3,000 metres, 3:34 this season. Well, what an individual final with which to finish the programme. Just the relays to come. This could be very dramatic indeed. So hard to pick a winner from here. Well, the first familiarity of this 1500 metre final is that, as expected, the 3-time world champion and former Olympic champion Asbel Kiprop has gone right to the back with his 2 compatriots in 1st and 2nd.
Well, what do you expect? He rushed to the back there, didn't he? And in front, Mangaloi and Chariot just leading them through at a very slow pace. O'Hare just in 2nd place there, just behind the 2 Kenyans. And there he is, the big man is at the top. Ingebrigtsen just behind him. Halusa on the inside, slow pace, slow pace.
So it's Manangoi on the inside, Chariot in the white spikes. O'Hare is in third, and still no move, Steve, from Asbel Kiprop. It hasn't been a perfect season for the defending champion. Do you think he's sharp enough if it comes down to the last lap?
Well, this is playing into his hands, really. He loves the slow pace. He's looked up and seen his two compatriots up front, and he's starting to move through now. This is good news, because if Kiprop is up there at the lead with a lap to go, hard to beat.
Chariot leads from Manangoi. They have taken it out. Good running from Great Britain's Chris O'Hare. He's in third with Kiprop now on his shoulder. Watch for the likes of Halusa of the Czech Republic and Miku as well, as Meshal comes wide on the outside. There are some fast men tailing Kiprop, and it's now Kenya 1, 2, 3.
Got to watch out for this. The Kenyans are on a charge. Chariot is in front. Manganoi just behind, and I think Kiprop realised what his teammates was doing. He swung right around the rest of the athletes, and he's gone onto the sort of shoulder, I suppose you could call it, of Chariot.
55.9 for that lap. Ingebrigtsen leads the chasers with Chris O'Hare just behind. Then Miku, the fast finishing man from Bahrain. And look at Meshal closing the gap now on Ingebrigtsen. O'Hare going backwards a little bit. It is still Chariot leading from Manangoi and Asbel Kiprop, and they've slowed a fraction, and that's allowed the rest to close up. What a last lap in prospect.
Ingebrigtsen closing down now. Closing down fast, as you say. The pace is slowed. Ingebrigtsen decides to come on the inside. But still it's the three Kenyans, 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. The bell lap.
Inside the last 400 metres of the men's 1500. A really intriguing race. Chariot leads. Ingebrigtsen is tucked in third because it's Manangoi in second. Asbel Kiprop, the defending champion, onto the Norwegian shoulder. Meshal in fifth. The European indoor champion over 3,000 is beginning to rock and roll. Watch for Miku of Bahrain if he gets in the mix. Look at this one from Ingebrigtsen. Kiprop's going backwards. I don't think it's going to be a fourth title for the Kenyan. He's out of it. A real opportunity for a European medal here. Chariot leads from Manangoi. Ingebrigtsen on the inside, battling with Meshal for a medal. What a run this is. Silver 2 years ago for Manangoi. Gold tonight. Chariot the silver. And Ingebrigtsen falls on the line and takes the bronze. He cannot believe it. What a performance. We were expecting all the fireworks from Asbel Kiprop, but the man who was the fastest in the world this year, who got the silver 2 years ago and said there was only one colour he wanted this time, has come out on top. Another Kenyan victory, but this time it's Manangoi. His compatriot Chariot takes the silver, and what a bronze for the Norwegian Philip Ingebrigtsen, falling across the line to take his place on the podium.
Well, Chariot is on the track. Manganoi obviously raises himself up. He's won the gold. Ingebrigtsen come through so hard on that last, 20 or so metres. And if he has got the bronze medal, that's the first European medal since Mehdi Bala and Ivar Hesto. They were second and third in Paris back in 2003. It's been that long since a European has won a medal at the 1500 metres. Manganoi, though, did everything he had to do. His teammate Chariot took it up all the way through. Well, the big man Asbel didn't have it this time round. But Kenya really run a great race there to get the gold in the end.
Well, Manangoi has been the top Kenyan this year. He's the fastest in the world, and he did a last lap there in 53.85.
Well, at last, he has come out on top. Kiprop generously getting involved in the lap of honour. He drifted out tonight. He hadn't had a great season so far, but it's his compatriot who takes the gold with Chariot the silver. Great performances from them. Kenyans winning both 1500s. And what about Ingebrigtsen? Older brother Heinrich and younger brother Jakob will be absolutely delighted for him. Big dramatic dive for the line. As Steve said, first European on the podium in this event since 2003.
I'd like to see a rerun of that last 100 metres or so, because there's a lot of pushing, shoving going on. Ingebrigtsen crashing through the line to take the bronze. But no doubting, really, the two in front, Manganoy and Chariot. There it is, Manganoy with that wonderful 3:33.61. Chariot just behind after doing all the pacemaking, 3:33.99. And Philip Ingebrigtsen coming through, crashing for that bronze medal, 3:34.53. Well, here we are on that last lap. We all thought that Asbel Kiprop was going to come sailing past, but the two Kenyans kept flowing on. Ingebrigtsen kept himself on the inside and in with a chance of a medal at that stage. Chariot still working so hard, those long loping strides. Manganoy, though, come on the outside. And at this point, maybe we still thought Kiprop could have something in the tank. But he drifts back here, and I think this is when Ingebrigtsen senses he's in with a chance of a medal, because Kiprop was fading. The two Kenyans running hard at the moment outside. Chariot still working hard, still pushing hard. The arms are going up, he's looking over, and Manganoy is there. Ingebrigtsen is trying to come through on the inside, looking over, looking over. Well, Manganoy goes through. Chariot is second, and then there's a dip by Ingebrigtsen for that bronze. Well, it was pretty close, it really was. Michel of Spain maybe was just edged out on the inside there. The Spaniard was going all over the place, arms failing, legs really lactating, just couldn't get past Ingebrigtsen. Ingebrigtsen looking the wrong side to his right when the challenge was coming on the left. There it is, he sees it at the last minute, and that's why I think he dived for the line.
Mnangagwa came out and said this was the one he desperately wanted after silver behind Kiprop 2 years ago, and he delivered under pressure. The Kenyans really took that out. They were hoping for a 1-2-3, not to be. But what do you make of this finish, Steve? Would there be any reason for a protest from Meshal on the inside as Ingebrigtsen just veers across?
Yeah, there is, yes, obviously a veering across, but there's still a gap there. Yeah, there's still a gap. He veers across even more there, though, as he dives to the line. Well, we'll have to wait and see if the Spaniards protest, and then it might go to a jury, but at the moment, it still stands.
Just the two relays to come on the track. Men's and women's 4x4. They will bring the curtain down on what has been an absolutely sensational 10 days of live athletics. Barshim, he's already the world champion. This for 2:40, last chance to thrill the crowd here. Got the stadium to himself. Oh, just clipped it with his heels. He looked miles over. Well, we thought he was in spectacular form, and the Olympic silver medalist is now the world champion, to go alongside his world indoor crown in 2014 and his world junior title in 2010. He just looked unstoppable tonight. You couldn't see anybody beating him, to be honest.
He completely controlled that men's high jump final. He arrived only 3 centimetres ahead of the rest of the world on the world rankings. But how smooth did he look in qualifying, and then taking that into the final. Attempting 240, getting back to the heights he was trying to get over a couple of years ago. A dominant display by Barshim in that men's high jump final. And a bronze medal already, and now they've picked up a gold in the men's high jump.
Mutas Esa Barshim is the world champion. Lysenko, the young man from Russia, competing as a neutral, the silver, and Majid Ghazal the first male from Syria to win a World Championship medal. He was absolutely delighted.
They definitely enjoyed it. You are the new world champion!
Fireworks flying as Barshim is announced to the crowd as the new world champion. Can't believe it, Steve, Catherine and Peter. Just 2 events to go. It's been absolutely sensational. It just seems so strange. We're back to the 4x4s.
Well, it's been a long day. We've had the walks this morning, 50k walk, then the 2 20k walks, and now we're coming to the last 2 events. Well, I'm sure they are going to be absolutely fantastic to finish off what is, as you said, a great championship. It really has.
So, medal presentation for the women's 5,000 metres. What a great finish by Helen Obiri. Barely put a foot wrong this season. But Almaz Ayana, the champion in the 10,000 metres, really made her work for it. Obiri tried to take the lead with 6:50 to go. Ayana stayed firm on the inside. But when the Kenyan struck on the last lap, that time, the Ethiopian 10,000 metre world record holder had no response. Fabulous night on the track for the Kenyans. Gold in the men's 15, gold in the women's 5. Prince Nafaf Al Saud will make the medal presentation. She came charging through on the last lap. Remember, she was so positive in the 1500, Sifan Hassan, and finished 5th. Richly deserves this moment on the podium. She was actually closing fast on Almaz Ayana. Doesn't matter. Sifan Hassan is the World Championship bronze medalist. What a great performance. World Indoor Champion, now has a World Outdoor medal. Great sprint over the last 400. Well, she was attempting a World Championship double that had only been done by Vivian Cheriot and Tiranista Barber. Gold and bronze last year in Rio, gold and silver this time. A really brave bid to outrun everyone, including her Kenyan rival, but she just ran out of steam on the last 250 metres. But it has once again been a stellar championship for Almaz Ayana.
Gold medalist and world champion, representing Kenya, Helen.
What a great range this Kenyan woman has. Brilliant over the 1500, 3000 and 5000. A world indoor champion, an Olympic silver medalist, and now world champion outdoors over 5,000 metres. And she beat one of the greats of all time en route to that goal. An incredible burst of speed on the last lap, and not even Ayana could respond. And what a wonderful moment now for Obiri here in the Olympic Stadium as she gets to hear the Kenyan national anthem.
Well, that's the national anthem. than we've heard 5 times now. Aburi's wonderful win in the 5,000, and Manganoi just winning that 1,500 metres means that the Kenyan team move up into 2nd place on the medal tally, just behind the United States. They've got 5 gold medals, 3 by South Africa and 9 by United States. An absolutely wonderful performance from the Kenyan team.
A great win from Abiri. Whether she can set some even faster times for the remainder of this season or maybe next year. Abiri on top of the world. 2 events still to come, don't forget.
Yep, 2 to go, Rob. 4x400 metre finals. The women will be first. There's a team from Germany. They'll start out in lane number 9. Botswana, familiar face of Amantla Moncho. She'll bring them home. And then just a little bit behind and leading the second group of squads coming out for this 4x4 final. That's the team from Nigeria. Looking happy, looking relaxed. Patience George, she'll lead them off. Then the team from Jamaica, the defending champions. Familiar faces there of athletes that have been there and done it before. A couple of their squad were in that World Championship final when they won gold 2 years ago. Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And the team from the USA, well, they'll come out shortly with Poland and France to contest this women's 4x400 metre final. On a wonderful evening. The word wonderful has been used a lot the last few days. Well, in fact, throughout this whole championships. So, the final female action. Before the men come out, it's time for the final of the women's 4x400 metre relay. World leaders, the USA, setting qualifying here, 3:21.66. Can they go faster? Or with the team they've got assembled, on paper, it looks likely. But this is a World Championship final. These World Championships have been unpredictable. There's the team from Germany. They'll start on the outside in lane number 9. Botswana. Lane number 8 for them. And inside Botswana will be the team from Nigeria. Yep, worked on the moves. And the defending champions. No McPherson in their squad. She was 6th of the 400 individual. But the defending champion will start in lane number 6. And a big roar for the team from Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Bronze medalist 2 years ago. And then the strong team for the United States. 4 women in the world have run under 50 seconds this year. 3 of them are in their lineup. The team from Poland, they'll line up in lane number 3, and then completing the lineup, the team from France. So, the penultimate event of the World Championships, the always exciting women's 4x400 metre relay, and that's an overhead shot. And potentially a team that could win another world title for the USA. They've won this title 7 times. Alison Felix, she'll be on the second leg, the world leader this year over the 400 metre distance. She got a bronze in the 400, gold in the 4x100 metre relay. She now has 15 World Championship medals. She's surpassed Merlin Ottey, she's surpassed Usain Bolt. And the American team of Hayes, Felix, Wimbley and Francis is a very, very strong one. Can anybody stop the Americans?
I'm not sure, Catherine. It really is a quality lineup. 3:21.66, that world lead. Then you're looking to the likes of Great Britain, bronze medalists in the last 2 years. And, you know, what psychological bonus to a team when you've got someone as decorated and experienced as Alison Felix.
Well, they're bringing in Felix. They've also brought in Phyllis Francis for their last leg, and she won the individual medal over the 400 metres. Like I say, Felix 49.65, Quinera Hayes will lead them off 49.72, and Phyllis Francis 49.92.
You have to go with that American team, don't you? For second, I think you also have to go for Jamaica, and I think there'll be more of a battle on for third. Very strong Jamaican team.
Oh, there is. They've got the very experienced Novelyn Williams-Mills on their final leg. Made the 400-metre final here, was in that World Championship team that won 2 years ago, as was Sharika Jackson, who runs third leg for them. Fifth in the 400 metres here, Jackson. So the defending champions, there may not be no McPherson in their team, but with Gordon, McLaughlin will be, Jackson and Williams-Mills, they'll be in with a shout as well. That's Quinera Hayes, the world number 2 this year. And there is the ever-experienced Novelyn Williams-Mills. 5 World Championship medals she has. Come back from health problems, battled breast cancer, and is still running on the world stage at a very high level. The British team as well in lane number 5. Clark, Nielsen, Doyle and Diamond, bronze a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and they brought in Ailey Doyle, the team captain, who has taken the place of Perry Shake-Strayton, who ran in the heats.
Yep, 400-metre hurdle finalist here, Ailey Doyle. That's the back of Zoe Clark, a semi-finalist over the 400 metres here. Did well though, ran a personal best, 51.81 seconds. So the final setup is being made of the blocks for this women's 4x400 metre final. The athletes wait. Emily Diamond, she'll run the final leg for the British team. Amantle Moncho, a former world champion. She'll be on the final leg for Botswana. So the final of the women's 4x400 metre relay. Will it be an 8th gold in this event for the USA? Can the defending champions Jamaica win the title again? Here's your lineup. As always throughout these championships, from lanes 2 to 9 are being used. And the 3 event favourites, the USA starting 4, the defending champions in 6. And the bronze medalist 2 years ago, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, starting 5. So we're ready to rock and roll. Germany will start on the outside in lane number 9. Spellmeyer, Muller, Gonscher, Mergenthaler, she'll bring them home. Botswana, they're brought home by Amantle Moncho, the former world champion in 8. Nigeria in 7. Patience George on the first leg, Yinka Ajayi on the last. There's the defending champions, Gordon, McLaughlin, Wilby, Jackson, Williams-Mills. Centre lane for Great Britain, Northern Ireland. They look good in qualifying. Clark, Nielsen, Doyle and Diamond.
United States of America.
The United States, Hayes, Felix, Wimbley and Francis. Poland will start in lane number 3. Justina Sviti will bring them home on the final leg. And then in lane number 2, the French team, 6th in 2015. The final of the 4x400 metre relay for women. France, Poland, USA, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Jamaica, Nigeria, Botswana and Germany. They've had a wonderful championships, the USA. Can in this penultimate event they win gold again? So, a clean start is expected in a 4x400 metre final. Quinera Hayes of the USA in lane number 4 going out hard, as expected, as is George of Nigeria in lane number 7. So down the back straight, Holub of Poland trying to hold on to Quinera Hayes. Jamaica going well with Gordon in lane number 6. So, Jamaica, Nigeria, Hayes for the USA. They'll swing round into the home straight. It's the longest leg of a 4x400 metre relay. They stay in lanes and hand it over. And Chris-Anne Gordon of Jamaica has had a wonderful leg, as has Quinera Hayes of the USA. Let's see who hands over first. It's the United States of America. On to Allyson Felix, the most medalled athlete ever in World Championship history. Felix down the back straight. There's been an injury to Jamaica. An injury to McLaughlin will be on the second leg for them, but down the back straight, it's a huge lead already for the Americans.
Massive disappointment for the Jamaicans. That creates an opportunity for others. Allyson Felix leads. Watch the Nigerians. They're in second place. Great Britain coming through in third. And the Botswanans and the Poles trying to come wide on the outside. Felix is out in a class of her own here. Great running by the British quartet, and Poland in third. USA, Great Britain, Poland, that's the top 3.
Shakima Wimbley for the USA, Allyson Felix, a fine run of course, but look at the battle for the other medals. Ailey Doyle, Lavia Nielsen, her teammate, ran a storming second leg. USA, Great Britain, Poland, Gawarska on the third leg for them. Nigeria are trying to get back into this one in 4th place. The American team are gone. They're leading this by some 60 metres. But Ailey Doyle of Great Britain, Northern Ireland kicks. She's making a little bit of a gap here between herself and the Polish athlete. So USA are going to hand over with a 50-metre lead. USA with Phyllis Francis now on the final leg. Ailey Doyle hands over to Emily Diamond. Poland in third. The crowd roar because of the position of the British athletes. Phyllis Francis, the individual gold medal winner in the 400 metres. Barring injury, USA are going to take gold in this one. Emily Diamond having a storming leg down the back straight for the British team. The Polish athlete here is struggling. Speedy. She's potentially going to be swallowed up here. Botswana, Amantle Moncho, trying to get back in the mix, but the USA have gone. Phyllis Francis going to bring them home for a gold medal. Great Britain, Northern Ireland as the crowd roar. Are they going to hold on for silver? Oh, what a finish here from Speedy. USA take gold. Great Britain and Northern Ireland take silver, and Poland pick up the bronze. Well, there was some super fast running by the French team and the Nigerian team. 3:19.03, a 2-second world leading time by the Americans. Well, I mentioned the 4 athletes that have gone under 50 seconds in the individual 400 metres this year. 3 of them were in that US team. Great running by them, super running by the British team, and Poland, well, they did hang on and pick up the bronze. They were finishing fast.
Well, you just can't beat that sort of quality, and the Americans had it in depth, didn't they? They poured it on, Felix, well, when she strode down that back straight on the second leg, it was all over. It really was.
Well, let me read you out the splits that I've got for the US team. 50.5 for Hayes from a standing start. Then Felix, 48.8. What an athlete she is. Then Wimbley, 49.6, pretty good. And Phyllis Francis brought them home, 50.1 unpressed.
Well, a great performance from the American team. Felix, I think, was the real key to that victory, if there ever was one, because she made it without any question, out of context for everybody else. Great run by the Great Britain team. Tragedy, though, for the Jamaican team. On their second leg, you know, it was almost as if they were going to move in and come up and challenge the Americans, and it was all over.
Well, it's almost as if the Jamaicans are jinxed at this championship. They have been so unlucky and so uncharacteristically out of sorts, as opposed to the United States, who now have 10 golds, 10 silver medals and 9 bronze medals. Great performance from the British quartet. I think when the Jamaicans went out, Catherine, that gave them a massive opportunity, and they took advantage of it and gave themselves a brilliant opportunity to hang on to silver.
Well, they did. They're always going to be in contention. You know, a medalist a couple of years ago in the centre of the shot there, Lavia Nilsson ran an absolutely storming second leg, just like she did in the qualifying, Peter. I don't know what her split was for the British athlete.
No, well, I haven't got that yet, but I mean, she ran 50.5 or so in the qualifying, and this was surely at least as good. Tremendous performance. And on all marks to Ailey Doyle too, because she hasn't been in top form this year, but they brought her in for this race. Slightly questionable to replace Jack Drayton, but she was very strong, wasn't it, when it mattered?
Confirmation then, USA take gold again, 3:19.02. Great Britain and Northern Ireland pick up a medal with silver, and Poland pick up the bronze.
6 seconds, that's just an incredible winning margin. Totally dominant.
We look at Phyllis Francis here on the final leg. It's a wonderful position to be in a 4x400 metre relay. I promise you, when your teammates have done everything for you and you just have to coast round. But look at the battle here. Sviti of Poland went wide into the second lane. She had an absolute blinding leg as well, the Polish athlete. But such was the advantage that the British team had, she couldn't close back on Emily Diamond.
Well, Sveti is one of those great athletes on relays, particularly. We've seen it time after time that she runs really well on the last leg for them. They brought her in for that. Lovely, smooth action here. The Americans in a different class.
And for Alison Felix, she's got 16 World Championship medals now. She was desperately disappointed with her bronze in the individual 400 metres. The relay split that Peter's just told us, well, you know the story. If she could have replicated that in the individual, then it would be a different story.
But some athletes are totally different, aren't they, in relays than what they are in the individual events. I think really, as I said before, Felix's that second leg for me was a real highlight. You know, because she literally just tore down the back straight. I've never seen her do anything like that in the individual. And in the end, she came back with that wonderful performance.
Well, anything sub 49 seconds in terms of obviously individual running is absolutely superb. But even in relay running, Peter, a 48-point split is something that not many have done in recent years.
No, you have to allow a little bit for a running start, don't you? So you won't quite replicate that in an individual race, but that's certainly worth, well, in the mid-49s anyway.
Well, it was a wonderful race by the Americans. Outstanding championships for them. It really was. But such was the strength of their team. They picked up the gold medal. So the medal ceremony for the women's 800 metres. Another American picking up a medal here. RJ Wilson ran a good race to pick up a bronze. But the athlete who's picking up her third World Championship gold to match that of Maria Mutola was the South African Caster Semenya. Jose Maria Orizadora, IAAF treasurer, given the honour of presenting the athletes with their medals. So a bronze medal for the USA, RJ Wilson, the US record holder, the US champion, picks up a global medal. She really didn't do anything wrong, the American. Took it out hard as we expected. And a nice smile and a well-earned bronze, 156.65.
Silver medalist representing Burundi.
The silver medal went to Burundi, the world indoor champion. Rio silver last year and silver in London at these world championships. Francine Niyonsaba inside 156. All the finalists inside 1 minute 59. It was a fast race. she tried to run the legs off the South African.
Representing South Africa,
Caster Semenya, her third gold, as I mentioned, to add to her 2 Olympic titles. 1:55.17, the 8th fastest of all time. A medal in the 1500 and gold in the 800.
Mesdames et messieurs, l'hymne national de l'Afrique du Sud.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of South Africa.
Well, a big smile from Caster Semenya. South Africa's third gold medal at these championships, their 6th medal in total.
World Championship medalists.
Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés des championnats du monde.
Once again, your World Championship medalists.
So as the women's 800-metre medalists depart the podium, this final night of action. Ceremonies thick and fast, of course. All events now concluded, apart from the last piece of action of these World Championship, the men's 4x400 metre relay. But next up, we're going to award the medals for the women's discus. And just as Caster Semenya was a huge favourite for the women's 800 metres, Sandra Perkovic of Croatia there in the centre of your shot was a huge favourite in this women's discus.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the discus throw women.
Les médailles seront remises par M. Alberto Juan Torrena Danger, vice-président de l'IWF.
Alberto Juan Torrena Danger, the IAAF Vice President, back again on award duty.
IAAF Vice President.
Médaille de bronze représentant la France.
So it was a good competition. There's a real battle for the medals, especially, of course, the silver and the bronze. And Melina River-Michon of France picks up the bronze medal for the French team. 66 metres and 21 is the season's best for the French athletes. Olympic silver medalist last year, World Championship bronze here. But Danny Stevens, the Australian, had the competition of her life, a Commonwealth record, 69 metres and 64. Well, Australia got gold with Sally Pearson and now silver with Stevens. No wonder the smile is broad. The performance of her life picks up the silver medal.
Gold medalist and world champion.
But the gold medal goes to Croatia. Sandra Perkovic, two-time Olympic gold, now two-time world champion. First won the title back in 2013, picked up a silver 2 years ago, but back on top of the podium here in London. 70 metres and 31. It was a dominant display by the Croatian.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Croatia.
So Sandra Perkovic will return to Croatia to a huge celebration. The first gold, the only gold of these World Championships, belongs to the two-time Olympic champion. They have a bronze, but the gold comes from one of the pre-event favourites.
So, in terms of live action, just the men's 4x4 final left. There will be a very special opportunity for those in the stadium to say goodbye to the greatest sprinter who ever lived. He leapt off the track last night. Now he gets to bid his farewell in style in front of a packed stadium. The end of what has been, without doubt, one of the best editions of the IAAF World Championships. No one has left the stadium yet. We've still got the medal presentations to come for the men's 1500, the men's high jump final, the women's 4x4, of course, yet another gold for Alison Felix. One last race to come. Can the Americans finish with 11 gold medals? They will have just seen their female counterparts storm to the title. Can they do the same? It's the final of the men's 4x400 metre relay.
It's the final event of the whole championship.
Hard to believe this brilliant 16th edition of the IAAF World Athletics Championships is drawing to a close with the last event, traditionally the relay. Here we go.
Beginning with Belgium.
The three Borlée brothers coming out for Belgium, fourth last year in Rio. The Cubans, a really good team, bronze in this event back in '87. Lead man Colazo, Lesque goes anchor for them. Good quartet. So too the Trinidad and Tobago team. Cedinho on third leg, Lalonde Gordon fourth. Got the silver in Beijing. The Spanish through to their third World Championship final. Superb in qualification. Vasilios got them off to a lightning quick start. Poland, arguably one of the better European teams in this event. One gold in '99, 3 bronze medals. What a team, as expected, from the United States. Olympic champions, world champions. Will it be a 7th consecutive gold in this event? Can Great Britain get on the podium once again? Hudson Smith, Cowan, Yusuf Rooney. and they take on the might of the Americans. And the French quartet, Javelin on lead leg for them. Attine Venel brings them home. Gold on home soil in Paris in 2003. While the American team really will take some beating. Will London the third. Gil Roberts, 44.84 in the semi-final. Michael Cherry and Fred Curley, who became the 7th fastest man in history with 43.70 this year, but was disappointed with only finishing 7th in the individual final. Mark Hudson-Smith goes lead leg for Great Britain. 44.74 in his semi-final. Can he get the Brits off to a big start? Rooney, the man of experience on the anchor leg, as is so often the case. 2 golds, 2 silvers, 2 bronze medals in this event for Britain. How will they fare here today? What a team, Catherine, from the United States.
Well, indeed. It's a little bit more open for me, though, this one. It's not as clear-cut, is it, as the women's 4x4 final was. The British team, as you mentioned, Robin Lane, number 3, with Matthew Hudson-Smith leading them off. Martin Rooney, he's making history. He's now the athlete in the men's 4x4 that's made the most finals in World Championships. So the experience, as you say, is there. But this part here, where you wait for your teammate to do their job, this is where the athletes are then brought out, placed in position at the 200-metre point of where your teammate is, and you're not allowed to move on that line. But there's Matthew Hudson-Smith. Big responsibility for him here, setting off the British team.
Thought he ran well in the semi-finals, even though he didn't make it. 44.74. He's up against Will London the third. One of the best names we've experienced here at these championships. There he is. Will London the third goes in lane 4. Long leg this one. We should mention the Trinidadians as well, because although Cedinho isn't in the kind of form that saw him run 44.01, he's on the third leg for them and went out in the semis. It's a really good quartet. Jareem Richards goes second leg for them, and what a great bronze he had in the 200 metres.
Well, I think he's one of the most exciting new talents that we've seen here. Brilliant in the 200, and I think he's got the strength to do the 4 as well.
Lalonde Gordon didn't go quite so well in the individual 4, but he's had a medal here in London at the Olympics 5 years ago. The Bourlet trio, Jonathan on second leg, then Dylan, then Kevin. It's Van der Bemden on the lead leg for them. And remember, they were just off the podium in Rio last year. And the Cubans have a good team as well. Colazo on lead leg for them, Lesgate on anchor. And watch Hasilios, the Spaniard, on the first leg. He was absolutely flying. PB individually in the semi-finals. He goes lead leg for the Spaniards, who are in their third final. Never finished higher than 5th, I don't think. This is it then. It's the very last event of what has been a sparkling championship. United States, possibly favourites in 4, but watch the Trinidadians in 7. Great Britain will be roared on by the home crowd in 3, and the Belgians on the outside.
Here we go, stand by to welcome all in lane 9.
The 3 Bourlet brothers and Van der Bemden. Kevin Bourlet on anchor was 4th in the semi-finals. The Cuban quartet, Colazo should have a good leg for them, and Lesgate will bring them home. Trinidad, silver 2 years ago, will they be on the podium again? Solomon and Richards could be the key man on the second leg. Basilos, PB here individually. Can he get the Spaniards off to a big start? Poland, a very good quartet. Can't rule them out of a medal. USA, they've seen their female counterparts win. This one could be closer though. Big opportunity for the Britons. Hudson-Smith needs an excellent first leg. He's got the form to do it. Vaniol goes lead leg for the French. So, the final of the men's 4x400 metre relay. France in 2, Great Britain in 3, USA 4, Poland 5, Spain 6, Trinidad 7, Cuba 8, Belgium 9.
Thank you. On your marks.
The curtain comes down on one of the great editions of the IAAF World Championship. Can the Americans round off a fine 10 days with gold? Will Great Britain give the home crowd reason to cheer once more? The final of the men's 4x400 metre relay.
Set.
The last event is underway. London the third for the United States. And a good run there by Hudson Smith. Trinidad going well. Out in lane 7. It's Jarin Solomon for Trinidad. Hudson Smith is trying to close the gap on London the third. Spain running well with Huselos. On the outside, Van der Benden just beginning to tie up a little bit. Excellent run by the Trinidadians. Now London the third is coming away. Hudson Smith having to hang on a little bit. How are they fixed at the first changeover? USA, Spain, Poland, Great Britain.
Well, it was a great finishing surge, wasn't it, from London the third. The USA going to go down the back straight in the lead in this one. Spain are running wonderfully well though, but look at Dwayne Cowan. The Great Britain athlete has swept into second position. He's holding the inside line. Trinidad and Tobago. Javelin Richards has now slotted himself into the second position. USA, Trinidad and Tobago and Great Britain.
What a brilliant second leg by Richards. The 200-metre man showing great class over the full lap. USA leading with Gil Roberts. Richards in second. He's tiring. Britain in third. Very tight between the silver and bronze medalists. Spain in fourth at the moment, with the French and the Polish trying to close. Michael Cherry down the back straight. What a leg this could be from Rabah Youssef. He's up against Cedinho, fourth place in Rio last year. Really good running by the leading trio. Cherry, can Youssef find something to come up onto the Trinidadian shoulder? Spain and Belgium in fourth and fifth at the moment. Cherry's long loping stride, but look at Cedinho closing the gap for Trinidad. What an end to that leg from the man who made the semis. America, Trinidad, Great Britain, Spain in fourth. Martin Rooney trying to close the gap. It's Lalonde Gordon on the anchor leg for Trinidad. Can he mount a charge on the American, the seventh fastest athlete in history? Curley, the fastest man in the world this year. Trinidad in second, and look at Rooney. What a performance by the Briton. He's getting roared on by the crowd. Who's taking the last gold at one of the greatest editions of the World Championship? Lalonde Gordon with the run of his life. Trinidad finished the 2017 World Championships with gold, silver for the United States, and it's bronze for Great Britain. Wow, a race of the very highest drama. Curley, the fastest man in the world this year, is denied by Lalonde Gordon, and the platform for the Trinidadians came on the second leg with Javelin Richards. The Caribbean nation have never taken gold in this event, but they have now, and in what dramatic fashion.
Well, they've not only beaten the USA, but they've took their world-leading time off them as well. 2:58.12. Wow! What a run by Richards on the second leg for Trinidad and Tobago. He swept down the back straight. It can't be long before he moves up to the one-lap distance, and when he does, that is very exciting. But what a great run by the British team as well. Martin Rooney, he's not been in the best form this year. Some people questioned his inclusion into the British squad. But when you've got as much experience as he had, he was chasing down, wasn't he, Fred Curley? What a race, what a fitting end, and a wonderful race, as Rob said, to the World Championships.
What a great performance from the Trinidadian team. Every single one of those athletes run superbly well. They had to beat America. Every single one of them. And in the end, much deserved gold medal. Really was.
The Americans a little let down by the last two runners, in fact. Cherry 44.9 and Fred Curley a very disappointing 44.8, and of course Gordon was much quicker than that. But on the second leg they'd had Gil Roberts running 44.2, and Will London had given them a terrific start with from a standing start 44.75.
The United States have to settle for silver. It was a great quartet of individuals, but the Trinidadians ran brilliantly as a team. They've never won this world title, and what a way to do it here in London.
Well, the Americans, of course, they're going to be disappointed. It's a title they've won 9 times previously at the World Championships. But Peter's right, there's a couple of the runners there. Fred Curley in particular, he got into the individual 400-metre final, but he came 7th. The second fastest man in the world this year behind Wade van Niekerk. You expected more from him at this championships, and he was really under pressure at one point from Great Britain's Martin Rooney. But take nothing away from this Trinidad and Tobago team. They came and they delivered, and a quartet that will be, we talk about Sandra Turkovic earlier being welcomed back with huge celebrations. Imagine those celebrations on the islands.
Yeah, it will be absolutely huge. And I'm really pleased for Cedinho there, because he hasn't had a great season. He was so close to a medal in the Olympics last year. He's been struggling to recapture that form, but the strength he showed at the end of the penultimate leg gave the Trinidadians the platform as they took on Curley. Gordon, the veteran of the team for Trinidad, showing all his experience, but Cedinho's last 100 metres was big for them on the penultimate leg.
Well, you see here on the final 200 metres, the British athlete on your right, Martin Rooney, is in a great position because he's chasing, so he can hunt them down. But in the final few metres here, look at this. The American was leaning into the bend. He was looking up at the big screen there. Fred Curley was looking to hang on, but there was no chance because Lalonde Gordon, with his big long stride, look at that, one striding away. This person in second, Fred Curley's dying, and Martin Rooney just couldn't catch the American. But 3 really well-deserved medals there. Even Lalonde Gordon's looking up at the screen. And Martin Rooney in the glasses with his beard there tried his hardest. What a great final race there.
I think Curley knew that he was in trouble coming off the bend. He really did. And Gordon there just pressurised him coming down the home straight. And look at the way he's tightening up the American. Shoulders are going back, head's going side to side. He knows he's lost it really, and lost it for the team as well, because Trinidad and Tobago had the run of their lives.
All of them did. It was absolutely sensational. And what about Jareem Richards over the 400 on that second leg? He was absolutely magic. Lalonde Gordon, well, he's had medals in London here before at the Olympic Games, but not a gold. What a way to do it. An amazing win for the Trinidadians, who will be heralded as national heroes when they return home with 4 gold medals from this event. Absolutely sensational. I don't think any of those guys will ever have to buy a beer on the island again.
Their only gold medal of the World Championships as well. That'll get them a couple of extra rounds, surely, when they're out celebrating.
Trinidad and Tobago bring the house down in London in style. Gold for the Caribbean island for the very first time in this event. United States silver. Great Britain the bronze. A medal in every relay here in London. So if you've kept us company over the last 10 days, stay with us. We still have an opportunity to say goodbye to Usain Bolt. In the meantime, we have the medal ceremony for a very dramatic 1500-metre final. And the president of the IAAF, Seb Coe, double Olympic 1500-metre champion, will be making this presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony.
We have a European on the podium in this event for the first time in 17 years. Meshal of Spain just missing out. Man in front of him collapsing over the line to ensure he has this moment in the spotlight. And I'm sure the IAAF president must be delighted at the way this championship has turned out. Over 700,000 people and so many shock performances, as we just saw in that men's 4x4.
Representing Norway, Philip Ingebrigtsen.
Well, the Ingebrigtsen family are hugely talented. Henrik was 5th here in London 5 years ago. Brother Philip takes the World Championship bronze, and younger brother Jakob, just 16 years of age, already knocking out sub-4-minute miles. Best moment of Ingebrigtsen's career by far. A real tussle with Meshal of Spain. He won it. Norway on the podium with bronze. Timothy Chariot takes the silver, as his compatriot did 2 years ago behind Asbel Kiprop. 7th in that final in China. He climbs all the way up to the podium. A wonderful finish by him. Only his compatriot denied him the gold. He said in the lead up to this championships, after taking silver in China in 2015, there was only one medal that would do for the fastest man in the world this year. He came and beat them all, including the defending champion Asbel Kiprop. Elijah Mnangagwa ensures Kenya take both 1500-metre titles. He is the champion of the world, the 9th fastest man in history, but that's surely the most important win of his career so far. Yet another gold for Kenya, yet another rendition of their rousing national anthem.
The national anthem of Kenya.
Producing yet another gold for Kenya. That means they have 5, so second on the table to the great performance by the United States. But they also got 2 silvers and 4 bronze. They've had a great championships. 1 and 2 for the Kenyans in the 1500 metres. They double up. They also won the 1500 metres for women as well. So they've had a great championships at the middle and long distance here in the World Championships.
Well, as Mnangagwa, Chariot and Ingebrigtsen celebrate, we now have an opportunity to say goodbye to the greatest sprinter in history. He will have this stadium all to himself. You may hear the cheers just beginning to rise. He is out on the stadium. He's in lane 6. The crowd responding. Many have stayed in the stadium because we still have some medal presentations to come.
Well, London, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce a man who simply is the greatest we've seen in this sport. The one, the only Usain Bolt. Usain, in a minute, we're going to do a last lap of honour for us. It's going to be emotional for us to say farewell to you. How's it going to be for you? How are you feeling right now?
I don't know. You know what I mean? It's been a rough couple of days for me. I'm happy to be in the stadium with such wonderful people, but it's going to be emotional. We'll see how it goes. I don't know.
Please don't focus on the last couple of rough days. Focus on the last 10 years of joy you brought to millions of people around the world. I mean, listen to that. Wherever you go in the world, people are so appreciative, not only of your talent, what you've achieved as an athlete, but how you conduct yourself. I've said it many times, you are the saviour of this sport, and I don't know how we're going to replace you.
Well, I've always tried my best, you know what I mean? You guys know I come out here every time I touch a track. I come out here and I give the 100% all the time. I just want to entertain and put on a good performance for my fans as always. And for me, I just want to thanks for the support. It's been immense. It's been just outstanding. You guys have really showed me a lot of love. I really appreciate it.
Well, to show our appreciation to you, we've got a gift that we know will mean a lot to you, and to present it is obviously our IAAF President, Sebastian Coe, and the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. This is something hopefully you frame on a big wall of yours at home. You deserve it, my friend. Now we're going to unveil this now. This is a part of the track which we hope means so much to you, Usain. You literally lit this place on fire in 2012, and we want you to keep it forever. Please, unveil. Ladies and gents, this is a part of the track where Usain Bolt won many gold medals. He's given this sport so much. It's been an honour to watch him run. It's been a privilege for me to interview him. Please show your appreciation for the greatest. He is going to do a lap of honour, but before that, ladies and gents, and Usain, take a look at the big screen. Here's a montage of well wishes.
9.58! Smashing the world record! Unbelievable! That is the most incredible piece of sprinting the world has ever seen.
I'm not sure that I will ever see an athlete of that calibre again in my lifetime.
I love you, Usain.
Usain Bolt, don't retire.
But here comes the imperious, the one and only Usain Bolt. His confidence, his sense of fun, and his unbelievable ability have lit up the entire world and everybody who's in this stadium tonight.
Usain, you gave me some of the best moments of my life. I really wish you all the best in your retirement.
Love you, Usain. Good luck. Thank you so much for the memories.
True champion. Full respect. Big up all the time.
He is, without doubt, the greatest sprinter in history.
It saddens me to say this, but for the last time ever, he is going to presence around the track, probably a lot slower than he has done in the past. Ladies and gents, the one, the only, the remarkable Usain Bolt!
This is a journey that started 15 years ago when he won the World Junior title at home in Kingston at the age of 15. He has, without doubt, lit up the world just like Muhammad Ali, and he's done it all with that incredible sense of fun that has endeared him to all four corners of the earth. Forget about what happened here in London. Let's focus on the 11 world titles, the multiple world records, the 8 Olympic golds. He has transcended the boundaries of his sport, and it is so fitting that we now have an opportunity to simply say thank you.
His emotions must be all over the place. You can tell he will be disappointed with what happened here in London. He didn't run the races he wanted. He didn't pick up the medals he wanted. But when you look over the career that you've just mentioned, Rob, of everything that he's achieved, it's been an absolute pleasure to have been around to witness
Kath is actually tearing up here, I'm not surprised. He's been a gift to our sport, really, hasn't he? Hard to replace.
Simply irreplaceable, but haven't we all been so privileged to be able to follow his deeds over the years? I certainly count myself as such, having seen him at the Olympics, having seen him at the Worlds time and time again, and had the privilege to commentate on him as well. He has transcended our sport.
One day, maybe someone will match his times, but what no one will ever be able to do is recreate the sense of fun with which he has achieved these remarkable feats. It's not just his prowess, it's his personality that has made him so loved around the world. His character is just absolutely extraordinary, and every time he raced, he managed to do so under the most intense pressure, as if he was back in Jamaica, running on the grass for fun. And surely that's what no one else will be able to reproduce. Even if his records go, the manner in which he's done it will always be revered and treasured, and could surely never be repeated.
It just touched the 200 metre mark there. That's obviously means a lot to him, really. Yeah, you know, hard to put into words what he's given to this sport. It really is. As you said, Rob, quite rightly, he's come out every single time to compete under the most immense pressure. The whole world has been watching and waiting for him every single time he's run. And that's a big ask from any man. And he's done it for the last, 12, 15 years now. As I say, I watched him when he was a little gangling 15-year-old. He really was in Kingston winning the 200 metres. And even then the crowd loved him, because afterwards he was dancing around and enjoying himself. And I think he's carried that through against all that pressure that he's had, all that expectation that he's had over the last 10 or 12 years. And to do that, I think, is a measure of a man. It really is.
It's been the theme of his whole career: enjoyment, fun. It's helped him run the fastest times you've ever seen over the sprint races. I was waiting for the Bob Marley music to come out. He's taking it all in. It's like he's getting a little bit emotional, understandably so as well, but now he can do whatever he wants. Enjoy his life to the fullest, and he will, and quite rightly so.
That is what he should do. Go home and just enjoy being around his friends, going to a party, not getting up and training 3 times a day. He owes the world nothing, and we owe him a debt of gratitude and a whole host of memories that are indelibly etched on our minds. The greatest there has ever been.
Just listen to the crowd. They've all stayed behind. They just want to say thank you and goodbye.
What a moment for the 2 or 3 little kids that have come out on the track. They'll look back on that. I was there, I witnessed it, and we're not getting the big showboating, we're not getting the big smiles, because like I say, it's a complete roller coaster of emotions for Usain Bolt. Might take a little while to settle in. He's never going to run again, he's never going to compete again. He never has to train again if he doesn't want to. Mum and Dad? Well, they let him do his lap of honour, and there they are, Mr. and Mrs. Bolt. You can't begin to imagine how proud they are of their little boy, right?
Yeah, because he hasn't changed. He's still the same character that he was when he was 15. Those are the numbers, but it's the man we've loved for the last 15 years. As we said, those records might conceivably go one day, but the memories of how he's done it will never ever fade with time. We've enjoyed watching this man for a decade and a half, and yet he has still left us wanting more. Well, how on earth do we follow that? The sport will continue and has to continue without Usain Bolt. And we turn our attention to a fine, fine champion who delivered a performance I'm sure the great man himself
Ladies and gentlemen, the
would
medal
applaud.
ceremony for the high jump man.
It's the medal ceremony for the men's high jump. At last, the second best jumper in history is a world outdoor champion. He wasn't even close to being challenged tonight. Darlan Al-Hamad, IAAF Vice President, making the presentation tonight. What a moment for this man. Majid Ghazal is the first man from Syria to win a World Championship medal. All around him were falling by the wayside. Wasn't the highest jump we've ever seen for a medal, doesn't matter. His second time clearance at 2:29, bringing him the bronze. He is a real hero back home and brings them reason to celebrate at a difficult time. What a big talent this young man is. It's a conveyor belt of talent coming out of Russia for the high jump, winning this medal as an authorised neutral athlete. World Championship silver at the age of just 20. There'll be, hopefully, many more moments in the spotlight for him. What about this fella? 2:43 back in 2014. Agonisingly close to Sotomayor's legendary world record. Butas Essabarshim, the Olympic silver medalist, the world indoor champion from a couple of years ago, is now the world outdoor champion. A glittering gold to match his huge talent. He was absolutely flying tonight. He teased us with an attempt at 2:40, but a clear card all the way up to 2:35. Surely one day he will once again get close to that world record. Butas Essabarshim, world champion. A great victory for him. Brilliant silver for Lysenko. And what a moment for the Syrian, collecting the bronze. Carried the flag here for his nation in London 5 years ago and last year in Rio. He's a world championship bronze medalist.
Once again, your World Championship medalists.
Two more medal presentations to come, both the 4x4s, and the official handover to Doha. They take the baton as they look ahead to the 17th edition of the IAAF World Athletics Championships, and how the home crowd will hope Barshim can recreate his gold here in the high jump. The women's 4x4 presentation coming very soon.
And right on cue, they enter the stadium. Good crowds have stayed. Yes, they stayed to see Usain Bolt do his lap of honour, but they're also staying because Great Britain, Northern Ireland have 2 medals to collect. The USA have more medals to collect. And every single fan of these whole World Championships absorbing every piece of action that they can. So the question was, could Jamaica defend their title? They crashed out with injury. Anna Riccardi, IAAF Council member, making the presentation. So with the defending champions gone, what an opportunity and what a run from Poland. They pick up the bronze medal. They've never been on a podium in the women's 4x4 at World Championships. Poland, Baumgart, Borowska and Sniti all ran really solid legs to pick up the bronze medal for Poland. Just outside 3 minutes 25. Tears in their eyes, and understandably so. Bronze medal goes to Poland.
Silver medalists, Great Britain and
Great Britain and Northern Ireland pick up the silver medal. Clark, Nielsen, Doyle and Diamond. They've upgraded the bronze from 2 years ago, the bronze in Rio at the Olympics last year, to silver here in their own backyard at the World Championships. Zoe Clark, a semi-finalist in the 400. Wonderful running in the qualifying and the final by Labia Nielsen on the second leg. British team captain Ailey Doyle, the 400-metre hurdle finalist here. A good leg on third, and Emily Diamond brought it home. That was medal number 5 for the British team. But the gold medal went to the United States. Silver 2 years ago behind Jamaica. But 8 times now the US of A have won the women's 4x400 metre relay. Quinera Hayes, Alison Felix, her 16th World Championship medal now, the best in history. Shakima Wimbley, and then the individual 400 metre champion Phyllis Francis. Such was the lead her teammates built up, brought it home unchallenged in a world leading time of 3 minutes 19.02. The USA picked up another gold.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the United States of America.
Tears of joy from the American women. The stars and stripes, the star-spangled banner held upright, as it's supposed to be, with US flag etiquette. So it was a gold medal for the USA in the final track action for the women. One more presentation to go. That'll be for the men's 4x400 metre relay. But before then, we have some business to attend. The next World Championships, of course, going to Doha.
Once again,
yes, great celebration for the United States. 10 golds in total for them. London is signing off as the metaphorical baton hands over to Doha for 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude the IAAF World Championships London 2017 with our last medal ceremony, we want to take you with us on a journey to the next edition of the Championships. Come with us to Doha. welcome our stars representing London and Doha, Laura Muir and Mutaz Estabarshim carrying the IAAF flag.
Are we ready? Well, we certainly hope so. Doha in 2 years' time will be fantastic, but they've got a tough job. London has been sensational. 701,000 tickets sold over the last 10 days. And in terms of drama, what a fitting ending. The very last track action produced magic from the Caribbean island. Not Jamaica this time, but a superb quartet from Trinidad, who were not to be denied a great, great gold. President of the IAAF, overseeing this very last medal presentation. What a performance. Great Britain on the podium again. A medal in all 4 relays, plus the individual gold and silver for Mo Farah. The quartet, Mark Hudson-Smith, Dwayne Cowan, Rabah Youssef and Martin Rooney. Martin Rooney must be running out of room in his presentation cabinet for relay medals. Great job, anchoring them home to bronze. Fred Curley overhauled at the end. Remember, he burst onto the global scene, becoming the 7th fastest in history with 43.7, but was disappointed with his individual performance in the 400 metres. Will London the third, Gil Roberts, Michael Cherry, Fred Curley. So often it's been gold for the Americans. 9 in total, 6 in a row, but they were denied, courtesy of absolute heroics on the last leg for Trinidad.
Gold medalists and world
The 4 men about to stand on top of the podium have become heroes back home. No Trinidadian quartet have ever won a world or Olympic gold in the 4x4 relay. Absolutely sensational. Jarin Solomon went lead leg for them. Jareem Richards ran the leg of his life. Bronze in the 200, surely a career at 400 follows. Cedinho finished with great strength on his 3rd leg, closing the gap and allowing Lalonde Gordon to produce the race of his life, an individual medalist here 5 years ago. I suspect with his teammates this one will mean even more. Trinidad and Tobago picking up the very last gold of the Games. What a moment and what a race to bring the curtain down here in London. Solomon, Richards, Cedinho, Gordon, 4 men who can look forward to an unbelievable reception when they return home to Trinidad. Fantastic climax to the race. They ran their hearts out for each other and ran themselves into the history books. A sensational finish to the race. I hope they enjoy the athletes' party tonight. Got a funny feeling they will. So that's it. We've almost got a little tinge of sadness here in the commentary box. It's been a very, very long last day. We started with the key men of the walking fraternity. The 50k got underway at 7:45 this morning. Tonight we've said goodbye to the greatest sprinter in history, and we had some fabulous relay action to bring the house down here in London. The legacy is alive and well. 5 years ago it was amazing here watching the Olympic athletics. This has been every bit as good. Before we finally say goodbye, here's a reminder of the drama that has unfolded over the last 15 hours or so on the last day of the championship. A suitably dramatic last day here in London. What a result for the United States. 30 medals in total, 10 golds, 5 for Kenya. Great finish from them tonight. 3 golds for South Africa. Caster Semenya rounding it off in style. The French producing their 3rd gold. First result of the day with Diniz producing the 2nd fastest 50k race walk in history. 1 gold for Germany, but it was Vetter, not Roller. Bahrain, 1 gold, 1 silver. And then Jamaica, just the 1 solitary gold this time. Omar McLeod and 3 bronze medals. The proud Caribbean island will be back with more in the future. 1 gold for Trinidad, and they really did save the best for last. 2 silver medals for Talu for the Ivory Coast in the sprints. Great performance. And the Tanzanians rounding off that medal table. Bronze in the men's marathon. Steve Ovett, Catherine Merry, Peter Matthews, final reflections on a brilliant 10 days.
Fascinating feast of athletics throughout. Some established stars, some new ones too. Plenty of thrills and spills. Real championship action.
It's short and sweet for me. The unpredictable nature of these World Championships has been so dramatic, so exciting. We've seen some stars leave us, but boy, have we seen some great stars that are going to come through for the future.
Yeah, I can't single anybody out. I don't think we should, because it's just been overall a fabulous championships. We look forward to Doha. If it can repeat this, well, book me a seat.
Well, that's it. We thank you for keeping us company over the last 10 days. It really has been as good as the Olympic athletics 5 years ago. This sport is alive and well. A very good night. See you in Doha in 2019.